Hey everybody, how we doing today? Try and guess who I am, a big Claire Obscure fan. We get that music going. Trying to turn my Discord to Do Not Disturb and can never remember how to do it right now.
Yeah. Which caster doesn't know how to do things
Oh,
on
that's a dead
Discord?
giveaway. You know me.
Yeah, they're gonna think it's Katie. They're like, Katie, do you have a cold? Your voice sounds very deep. Oh, it's gonna be a dead giveaway for some people. There's definitely people in some of our friend groups who are just, but they would tell from your voice, right? I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
Yeah. We'll do
All
the.
right. We'll show our cute little faces here.
Hey everybody.
Yeah, welcome to round 4 of the ICL. We have Enter the Battlefield versus the Villain Club. Pretty kind of important, kind of not. Very big bragging rights round. Like, insanely big for the bragging rights. As both of these
Yeah.
teams are undefeated.
Yeah, hard to do in this type of tournament. So having two undefeated teams playing the last round, very, very exciting.
Oh, yeah. And the Villain Club, while they are undefeated, they had kind of a weird win, draw scenario in the last round. So for this league is all based on overall match wins. And they only got 1 from that, so they only have 5 points, and that's the same as like 3rd through like 6th or something like that. So there's going to be some close calls, and it's going to come down to some tiebreakers. Someone's probably going to bubble out. It's going to be down to like, well, did you beat the person you tied? That is a tiebreaker. The app we're using has quite a few different ones. I don't actually know the full time which ones. I'm just going to be like, set it and forget it. As long I just input what they played, and it should work. Overall.
Yeah, there's a lot of tiebreakers on there. Don't know what all of them are.
But let's jump in and check out one of ETB's players here.
Oh, yeah. We've got Elias Abdullahad, a.k.a. Lorcana Habibi, playing for Enter the Battlefield. He had a top 64 at DLC Fort Worth, a top 32 at DLC Toronto, defending his home country of Canada. He's won multiple set champs and is the future self-declared ICL champion.
I like that. I don't think it said self-declared on there, but it was entertaining that you clarified that aspect. You're like, let's at least put that in there. Maybe he's psychic as well. I sat next to him in DLC Toronto on day 2.
Set next to him is in like play your top cut match?
Yep, we played right next to each other. We were both playing Steel Song. I don't remember if he was on flutes or not. I know he does not like flutes, but at that time, everyone might have just had to play. I mean, I don't like flutes either, and I was playing them, right? Like,
yeah, that's otherwise you can't beat Red Blue unless you're Wochuk and against me.
Yeah, exactly. I've been having some interesting conversations with Wochuk. Maybe you can bring it up later. As you'll see, he is playing tonight, about what he would play over in Japan if he was able to go.
Oh, gotcha.
But here we have Chris from Enter the Battlefield, and he bubbled in DLC Chicago. Sad face indeed. First place in the GTA Lorcana League, regular Season 1, and he peaked Pixelborn top 25.
Very impressive feat. I know there's a bunch of grinders in there, and so trying to dethrone those grinders and make it and crack it into that top 25 was very, very big back about a year ago, and then before that. So love to see those old Pixelborn tops.
I do believe the Twitter thing that talked about this time last year was when Pixelborn shut down like a week ago.
Yeah.
Sad memories. Sad memories. We'll take a...
Yeah. I always saw
silence.
you at the top of the... Oh, I'll cut off and do the silence.
Continue.
Sorry, I was... No. Congratulations and applause over. Silence now. Silence now here.
You don't get to hear the music. I actually paused the music when I said that. But anyways, let's we'll keep going on here to Adrian if you want to read his card.
Yeah, we've got Adrian also playing for ETB, Enter the Battlefield. He has a 50% day 2 DLC conversion rate, which, if you've been to a DLC, that is quite impressive. He was at top 64 DLC Chicago as the 15th seed day 1. Anytime you can get into the top 16 of those seeds and guarantee yourself a going first in the first round of Top Cut is just a huge feat and very, very impressive to not only make day 2, but also finish that high of seed. And then top 1,000 of Toronto, where he was knocked out of contention by Mr. Wonder himself in round 8.
Yeah, I also gave him a little bit of coaching early on in the game, humorously for Amethyst Ruby, not Steel Song, which I'm sure Habibi would be super upset with him if he got coaching from me instead of asked Habibi for advice on that regards. Yeah, we basically had to play our winning in, whichever one of us won would get in. Sadly, it wasn't like after we had already made day 2 that only one of us got in, but alas, those are those big cut tournaments. You are going to see a lot of the high level players in the last few rounds, and when you're back against the wall, that's not who you want to play against, right? But alas.
Right. And that's kind of my hurdle right now too, is I just keep losing those win and ins at the 2 DLCs I went to. And it's exciting to hear your opponent scream and be excited, you're also just kind of disappointed you didn't make it. And so he did get to make the top cut at DLC Chicago, but unfortunate that Toronto there. And more importantly, he did sneak another fact in here. He is a Stitch set champion based on his photo.
Oh, you're right. You're like the sneaky snake. But speaking of sneaky people and villainous people in general, I mean, do you want to do this? I mean, I'll happily read this. I just can't help. I just want to start singing "Be Prepared" like Adam.
Yeah, I was about to say, be prepared for a great time with this one here, because we do have Baker, or the Lorcana villain himself of Villain Club. Why don't we do halvesies here, and you can do the rest.
I mean, I'm just so busy trying to swipe right here that like I'm just confused. Like DLC caster, first set champion from back in the day. I do believe that was the first time they did it. The content creators had a thing first, and he won the first one. So the first one to take down a set champ and win a Stitch. And as you already said, and it's my turn to just go, be prepared, as he's very known for his rendition of Be Prepared.
Yeah, I believe he has some singing talents and some operatic abilities. I don't know the full details, but I have heard of his tremendous talent in that area.
You just gotta listen, then that's all you need to know, right?
Exactly. What a good! I'm excited for this match.
Villainous, evil-looking people. I mean, look at that face. Does that not just tell you? This is like the evilest looking person I've ever seen. Like, a more villainous hat could not be found.
Yeah. And right here we have Alex Berceau, better known as the world champion of Pokemon a couple years back, Wochuck of the Villain Club. You actually, Wonder, introduced him to me in person at DLC Atlanta, and then I played him in the next round.
Oh.
And then
awkward.
We were both undefeated going to that round, split 1-1. He ended up making top cut there at DLC Atlanta, and he actually has one of the more unfortunate runs in history. I can speak on this. He's played Steel Song in all 3 of these top cuts, and in all 3 of them, he hit the worst matchup in top cut in Ruby Sapphire. And I know he was not playing flutes in DLC Atlanta, so that's almost it's like 0% chance to win 2 out of 3 of the games there in top cut. So.
I'm
unfortunate
sure
pairings there. Yeah, I mean, he did beat me 1-1 when I was on Ruby Sapphire earlier, but to get those 2 games is tough. Yeah.
Well, keep going with your story. I liked it.
He did get 9th in this past week's SSG tournament. He's actually got 9th at the last 2, unfortunately. The Bubble Boy trying to steal... who's the old Bubble Boy? Matt Peddle's Bubble Boy status here by bubbling at the SSG events.
Was there a previous Bubble Boy I was unaware of?
Matt Peddle has, I think, gotten 5 Let It Goes, but no Day 2, sadly.
Oh, that
So
is
he's owning the Bubble Boy status right now.
that's brutal. Well, let's get on to our last player of Villain Club, as well as our other caster.
Oh, baby. We got a real treat tonight. Oh man. I'm a little bit late. Sorry, Luke. I've been moving my house, as you know. You know what I'm saying? I've been grinding and doing my own
Life.
thing. So I'm a little behind, but we got an absolute spectacle tonight. We got Mr. Bivvens. Granted, this is still set 7, right? Which is a bit sad. But still gonna be great. Every time we get to see Zach Bivvens play, I think it's gonna be a real treat. And I get to hang out with you fine fellas tonight. So I'm super excited for that. Let's do it. Villain Club. Who else was in the lineup? Was that Lorcana Villain? The captain?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, man. Was that V. Wochuk in the building?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. And we got Mr. Bivvens, dude. What a treat. I'm excited. I'm ready to be here. I'm ready to do this. I'm super motivated. But everybody knows who Zach Bivvens is. He's an absolute all-star, world's qualified player. He's going to be down there in Orlando here in a few short weeks. And he is getting his game on, representing his second organization. I know he's a member of the Southside Gaming Crew now, but needs no introduction. You guys know who he is. One of the, in my opinion, one of the top, at least top 5, top 6 players we have in the world. I would assess just based on his ability to craft decks and to play the game and what he's accomplished over his first inaugural season of competitive play. Patent pending Buzz Lightyear shirt. I like him a lot. I think he's also quite handsome as well.
I'm pretty sure there probably is a copyright on it, at least for sure.
I will only assume, you know what I'm saying? You can only be so bold, but I think it's great. I think he's also super cool too. I've had a chance to sit down with him for an interview. I look forward to meeting him again here in a few short weeks, but obviously we're going to right swipe and we're going to, you know what I'm saying? Take him on a hot date if we can.
Oh yeah. All right, let's get to that favorite part where we predict who's going to win. Let's start with you, J-Bone.
Oh man,
No
this is tough. I like both of these teams a lot, but we got a world qualified player on one. We got the Chuckster, who's a world champion of another game. I'm gonna have to say Villain Club on this one.
Okay.
2-1. 2-1.
Dang,
2-1. Well, they better be prepared because I know JDZ is going to be in charge of singing it during the match.
Let's go. I'll rip it. I'll rip it if I need to. But let's see. Looking at this match, I didn't get to see who entered the Battlefield Brawl in their lineup. I did show up a bit late. They
brought Habibi. They brought Chris and Adrian.
So they did not bring Pandemonium Heart.
No.
They did bring Mr. Quigley. I think for those reasons alone, I think they go down. I think Enter the Battlefield.
Oh my!
They didn't bring their A game. I think they're resting on their laurels. This is for all the marbles. You gotta bring the Quigs. You gotta bring the Quigster here in this event. And they just didn't do it.
All right. Quigs or Quigster? I
like
both of them, but which I kind of like Quigs.
They're interchangeable.
They're interchangeable. You can give the same person like 6 nicknames and just keep swapping them in the same sentence over and over. That's the style I like.
And I think Villain Club, they're going to be emboldened by Lorcana Villain. They have the leader. Their emboldened leader is there. Their inspirational leader is there. How can they lose? I'm going Villain Club right here. I think it's going to be close though. I think I'll go with 2-1 as well. I think it's going to be a grindy. It could also end in a 1-1-1, but I think Villain Club's going to take it.
Huh, it's an interesting thing. Am I gonna curse who I root for? I don't even remember who I rooted for in the last game, actually. So if the curse was broken or went, I do believe I said I rooted for the team that I didn't want to win to see if the curse would go. So did that mean the curse actually worked still initially from my desires or from what I actually said? So I don't even know, man. Maybe I'm just gonna go for the triple draw, but
Triple draw would be crazy.
I mean, I do have the crown. I did escape with the crown, and I do believe I might have prevented you from leaving. I think you thought you left Jafar's heist, but I think you really failed, and you were stuck in an illusion that made you think you won. I don't know, but that's just my guess.
I think that's how you got to keep the magic alive. Anytime you escape the palace heist, it's always just going to be illusion. So the next time you go in, you think you got it. The queen is always going to be another castle. The crown is always going to be another castle. It's all fake the whole time. I like that, just to keep it going until it's actually over.
All right. That makes sense. But I'm gonna have to give the 3-0 to Villain Club. Habibi's gonna have to do some heavy lifting if he wants to do that. I'm not even saying the victory. I'm giving them the 3-0. I think so much pressure is gonna be on Habibi now. He's gonna choke.
Oh man,
I'm gonna rile him up so much with that.
He's not gonna watch. He's not watching. He might watch. I think he's locked in. I do think it's gonna be a great match. I think Habibi's a great player, but I think they just gotta. I don't know. I think Villain Club's gonna be too much for him to handle. I think they brought the A squad this time. They got Wochuk. You got Wochuk. You got Mr. Bivvens, and you got Lorcana Villain in the same lineup. I think
that's a scary lineup.
That's scary. It's scary. So we're
maybe
gonna find
my
out.
prediction's the opposite. Maybe it's cursed, and the 3-0 goes the other way. We'll only find out one way. But I have to actually set up the camera for us to find out.
But while he's setting that up, you guys also need to be setting up your seat back, putting it into the upright and locked position, because it is time to take off. We got ICL on a Monday. We are still going to be in Arcadius Island just temporarily, okay, just for continuity's sake, just for fairness sake. But I believe the next round we're going to be shifting over to Ranger Jafar. Is that correct, Luke? Okay. I guess not. Maybe it might be. Maybe it might not be. But I think next round we are going to be switching over to the new format. But right now we are still going to be playing Arcadius Island.
I'm sorry. So... You asked me a question right after I said I was doing something, so I got distracted. The top 8 is going to be Jafar, if that's what you asked.
Yes.
We're finishing out this round using just set 7. That way it's a little bit more fair. I don't want to hear anyone say, like, oh, you got to play with the new cards, so obviously you beat them, or, oh, the new cards threw me off. So to keep it an equal, fair
that makes
playing
sense to me.
field.
Absolutely makes sense. So I think it's going to be still a vibe, man. I still think great play is going to be great play, and I'm looking forward to it. So, J-Bomb, what are you looking forward to most? You got to kind of rewind your mind back to set 7. I know we've been in Ranger Jafar. Seems like an eternity already. JK has just been one weekend. What are you looking forward to most, man, in this set 7 meta? Any highlights that you miss?
In this set 7 meta, I think today specifically, we're going to see some Steel Song. I don't know what any of the players are playing yet. I haven't seen the list, but I think we're going to see some crazy Steel Song matches, because there's 3 people who could be considered 3 of like the top 5 best Steel Song players in this match alone today. So we're going to see just a workshop, a class, a divine intervention of Steel Song play here. So that's what I'm most excited about.
Right on. And we got some chat coming in. While we're waiting on Luke to set up everything, we'll go and read some chat. And Matty Miller, shout out to Matty Miller, says, J-Bomb's looking forward to the hot dogs. He's going to eat after. Is that true? Can you confirm it or not?
We should be ready to go.
No hot dogs today. Just we got some grilled chicken.
All right, J-Bomb. We're going to catch you back up in round 2. So we're going to let you eat dinner, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Let's go.
See you guys.
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
I somehow started them each with a game win.
Okay. That seems fair.
Cutthroat. We're just
Absolutely. And Lorcana Villain is leading the troops out first, as we're going to start with the Elsa. So we got a little bit of Amethyst coming in. Is there a way that we can get Chris's camera coming in as well, or no? Oh, never mind.
You should be watching my screen.
Okay. All right. That's good enough. That's good enough. Okay. That'll work. Gotcha. All right. Because I'm hearing something. I'm hearing like some a little bit of feedback. It sounds like it comes from the game or something. I don't know if the chat can hear that as well, but I can totally hear something coming in. Can you hear that, Luke? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear?
I don't think I hear feedback. Are you hearing that in Discord or video?
No, my Discord is completely muted. I'm hearing, I think it's coming through the video. But either way, we can rock with it, as Baker probably going to be playing a little bit of Ruby Amethyst. I know that is a strategy that he's kind of known to play. I don't know. He gets out there and mixes it up. If you guys don't know, Lorcana Villain is going to be Baker. He is a YouTube sensation, Lorcana broadcaster, the Be Prepared icon himself, Mr. Villain. Yeah, I can totally hear the whole situation that's happening there.
Interesting. If you're watching their streams,
Oh, that
in Discord. You're probably listening through. You're hearing their stream probably.
okay. I'm just gonna roll with it then. If they can't hear, if the world can't hear it, then I think it's totally fine.
Maybe I don't know. Anyways, so
Anyway.
Baker's starting off with a broom into questing, gaining some lore, playing another broom, looping it up, and then Adrian here started just with a Diablo, and we're going to see nothing on turn 2, and turn 3 going with the Sisu. So we have a mirror here. I wonder how many rounds are going to be a mirror. You're talking about a bunch of Steel Song players. What's the chances that we get a Steel Song mirror to boot?
Oh, I 100% know. I feel that it's going to be a Steel Song because I know Wochuk is going to be Steel Song. I think Bivvens might have to switch it up and maybe play another backup deck. I did watch them play a little bit of Under the Sea this weekend at the SSG, so maybe they're going to lean on that. Who knows? You got to be a wild card here as you are preparing for this World Championship. I know you are as well, so don't leak any of your goo. But maybe this is a good platform to start testing out different strategies here as you're preparing for that event. As
maybe he's going to play something that he wants to play, but he's going to play it here, so everyone thinks that there's no way he plays it.
You can talk about that too. There is some craftsmanship. There is some gamesmanship in there with all these world qualified players. You guys are going to be underneath the microscope. Everything you do publicly will be information and intelligence. So I'm interested to see what Mr. Bivvens is going to bring to this tournament today. As we get a little quest off with the broom on that third ink turn, we're putting the friends down, telling a story about the hand. Maybe you just don't have the units to get down to the ink. Well, maybe you're high cost uninkable. As the Queen of Hearts is going to come on in as well as we crack the broom to get some cards. Baker might be struggling for some inkability here as you pass back on over to a Sisu Diablo situation going into the 4 ink turn for Adrian, aka Chris ETB, who is the owner of the store up there. Very often he comes in and plays in that tournament. I think he got to top 8 in his own Into the Battlefield tournament that happened about a week ago. I was fortunate enough to do some broadcasting there as we get a friends being sang by the Sisu. This isn't Chris playing. Oh, my bad. This is Adrian. My bad. I'm looking at the Discord. Chris is streaming. Adrian's playing. My bad. Shout out to Adrian though. Adrian's a real one too. As we are going to, it's Chris playing though. Chris got to be out here in the lineup, I hope. And we get to see Chris do his thing as well.
Chris is in the lineup.
Okay. As we'll go ahead and throw the library on in, you do, I believe, have enough ink to go ahead and place one of these characters into that library as well. And it looks like it's going to be that Shisu is going to find her way over to Bell's Gift for Bell. And now Baker is kind of falling behind on this board. You got to figure out a way to gain some momentum back.
Yeah, Library is a powerful card, and with the Sisu, I guess, yes, is just like too big of a threat for this queen to 2-tap, really. We needed that queen kind of a turn before, maybe some way to put damage on it. Right now, it's going to be a little bit more difficult.
Now, is there a world where Baker, could he get his hand size low enough in order to make that Sisu? I can't see how many cards are in hand right now, but it seems like it's way too many in order to reduce the strength of that Sisu so the queen can survive. Because maybe there's a world you can do a crab line to power up the queen to clear the Sisu, but they're going to gain a card in the process, and that just feels quite bad as we go and send the brawl down to the Inkwell. Again, telling that story about the hand. Maybe you're having some inkability issues. Maybe there's a lot of the ladies in there, or maybe there's a lot of genies in there. Let's see what we do it for. Maybe genie could be the play. Start bouncing rabbits and clear your hand a little bit.
I mean, a crab to trade is kind of rough.
Yeah, because you will lose that queen, and you are going to go crab on queen anyway. And I think you might have to take the gamble here. And it looks like that's what Baker is kind of contemplating here and now, because you are going to lose a card in advantage there as well. If you're playing the card, if you guys are keeping track, that will be a plus value for Adrian in this situation. But you'll elect to just go and plug 4 into the library and then just give up the queen for free. That seems painful as well, but you will save yourself 2 additional lore in the process. That felt bad.
You can see a couple of Be Prepareds in Baker's hand too. So be prepared to sink possibly.
And probably just telling a story about Baker's hand, it just seems very bricked. Just the way that the turns have sequenced themselves, it just seems like it just didn't have the units to make a better play. You just got to do what you can to get that library off. So maybe we'll see a Fox bounce crab next turn. to potentially finish off the library, because you are for sure losing this queen this turn. As a little bit
Yeah, it seems insanely unlikely that the queen does not get challenged here. It's just free. It's
Yeah.
just free removal. It seems very unlikely to not take advantage of that. But Baker here, he kind of just needs to be able to deal with this library so these Be Prepareds can do stuff for him, right? And if there's a fox or anything of the sorts like that, well,
Okay.
I guess not as much now. A fox is still an okay play here, honestly. We do have a lot of cards in hand, though, so we can't reliably shrink down enough to take out.
For sure.
can't-
And your queen is still not damaged, so you will have to figure out a way to ding some damage onto the queen. But I think that's very unlikely as well. So, like you said, even if he goes for a fox, you can get fox to clear the library, which is gain that residual lore and give you some additional card advantage. So I would like to see that going if you can. If not, maybe you can do your own Elsa play and potentially take out this Diablo before he can get firmly placed into the cove. I'm not sure. This seems like you are in a rock and a hard place coming in for a Lorcana villain going into your 5th turn. Maui would also be quite nice.
Yeah, if we had a Maui, that would be all right. We are at 6 cards. We go to 4 cards. We're still losing the queen, but we could just probably wisely eat up the Diablo. It shuts off the extra lore gain. It's going to make the crabs a little bit less valuable, and it's going to make future libraries also not as scary.
Ooh. So we
We're
will
in a rough spot.
Yeah, electing not to ink. Just go ahead and play in that rabbit. Probably have to take a little bit of down tempo. Maybe just telling a story about the hand is that your 5th cost turn is going to go ahead and find her way down to the ink well. Baker's hand has got to be tragic, man. It's got to be feeling really bad for Lorcana villain, who is going to be on the approach
for sure.
Electing it not to exert the queen, probably wise, keeping that thing ready to protect it. And now Adrian has all the momentum. Library is going to gain another lore.
So the situation isn't as dire. It is not that high of a lore count. It is 7 lore. He can answer the library and then kind of trade off some characters. If he has a Maui or a Fox, he needs one of those cards for sure. It could just be that he didn't want to use his Fox with no value, and he's just like, you know what, I can wait a turn. Especially if Adrian moves his characters into the library. Because if he just answers the library quickly, then that was a bunch of wasted ink.
And we are getting to that 6 ink turn. So if Baker can somehow survive this onslaught that he's under, clear the library, get to that Be Prepared turn, I think you can kind of craft a new game out of this situation, as the Madam Mim Fox is going to be redeployed, bouncing our Sisu here. Interesting maneuver from Adrian, just trying to reset that Sisu, maybe to protect it from an impending Be Prepared, perhaps, and just keep it in hand. Or maybe you can redeploy it here if you really wanted to. No,
Just
which is
one
ink,
ink, I guess. Oh well. Only 2 cards in hand, like without massive card advantage here, and nothing moved over to the library.
Yeah. This is Baker actually might be able to turn this around here. You got 2 turns left to reveal one of those Be Prepared that you know you are hanging on to. Your opponent has kind of pot committed to this board, so I think it is kind of vital to get this library off the board right now. And you're going to start by singing Friend. So electing to kind of maybe
say Fox, I don't know what does.
Yeah, this is very 5-piece. For the Maui. Okay.
You do what you got to do.
Absolutely. And
I guess it was a desperation. Friends on the other side, and he found Maui. He was just like, hey, friend Maui, let's do something. He's like, all right.
And now he's probably contemplating on maybe just clearing that Diablo, trying to take some of this lore, because your next turn is probably going to be maybe seeing something and then get that ink established. Did he not ink?
That's 6 cards.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No ink.
I think he forgot to ink, or he's really ink screwed. Like, he definitely had at least 2 B preps in his hand.
Not inking there. That tells another story. I think is it still Baker's turn right now? He still might be thinking about putting something down.
No, it is Adrian's turn right now.
Oh wow! So missing ink. Wow, 6 cards in hand. That's wild. Okay.
So, like what? Rabbit, lady, rabbit, be prep, be prep.
Genie. Yeah. Maybe there's two be prepares. Maybe there's got to be a genie involved somewhere. Some of them are
It's like
rabbits.
4 be prepared, 2 rabbits. It's like
Wow.
4 of a kind, baby.
I mean, but this Maui actually can anchor your board pretty good here. If you wanted, I guess you could send a bunch of characters in and do some favorable exchanges. You could clear the queen. You could clear the rabbit as well and leave the Maui up and just kind of play that kind of game. But Baker not inking with 6 cards in hand, that might be a problem. It might just say something about the hand. And if I'm Adrian, I am going to be very reluctant to continue to include cards into this field of play simply because I know the Be Prepared is coming. So maybe there's a world you just start exerting and start questing as we bring the goat in to gain another piece of lore there. You can add 4 here if you want. What are you doing, Luke? Are you challenging or are you questing?
Well, we know that Be Prepared's not going to be around anymore, but we're trying to win this race, so we might be able to just ignore the rabbit, but at the same time, I kind of want to answer the rabbit. And so does Adrian.
Mm-hmm. And now you're going to go ahead and quest for 3 here with the Sisu, who is still massive, who will go ahead and trade with the Maui in the event that you elect to do that. As we'll bounce another Fox. We'll go Fox for Fox. Send Fox
Fair.
on into the Queen. I think you could. I think sending that Fox to the Queen is probably pretty clean, as you'll be able to remove that. And now Maui, who has Reckless, is going to be able to clear up that Fox in return. But at the same time, you need to get something that can go down to your Inkwell here, as it is going to be off the top. What is it? Checking your ink. You still got 5, I believe 7 cards in hand. Thinking on the inking. Did you find an inkable card? Or are you just trying to play the slow game and just maybe hang on to your inkable cards, as Baker is contemplating holding on to that beautiful Lorcana villain, Matt, the leader of the squad?
Pretty brutal to try to hold on to ink right now.
I don't think you can. I think you got to put something down. Unless you have some bounce or something. Maybe you just want to, I don't know. We'll see, as it is going to be that rabbit. No ink again. What is happening here? Please, ink a card. I'm begging. And there it is. Diablo finds his way into the inkwell. Do you have another 2 cost that could come in? It's a snake. Okay. So you are mixing up here.
Snake.
You see how snake-like I can be.
There you go. I love that one. I always do that one. I'm just like, how snake-like I can be.
That's pretty good.
Slithery snake. It makes me want to do a Slytherin thing too. I don't know.
Pretty good. But we are going to go ahead and use the Maui to take out the Sisu. I think that's another interesting one. Maybe just trying to preserve that lore over Maui's body. I think my plus minus value game I like to play, I'm going after that Fox just to clear him and get another card out of the process over that lore. But it's all exertion coming in from Adrian, who slams another broom into the face of what could be known to be a Be Prepared. We'll bring the Fox in, gain some lore and pop. So I like that a little bit. Get the broom, get the goat back, and we'll pop the broom to draw another card. So I think that's a pretty cool play. Save your goat from the Be Prepared.
Oh yeah. And you're trying to burst.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're just trying to get the last few points of lore. And just like drawing a few more cards.
Wow.
Perfect use of your ink here. This is not a good spot for Baker.
Absolutely not. I think that missing ink on that 5th turn, like imagine if you could have ripped one of these Be Prepared a turn sooner. Now you're kind of forced into this awkward situation where you have to rip this Be Prepared, and it's going to be a low value Be Prepared compared to this nice Be Prepared you could have played a few turns ago.
Yeah, and if Adrian just plays that goat and then bounces it again and passes with just a single snake in play, I mean, he goes up to 17 and then gets to quest, play goat, and is basically Lorthal in play. So even putting Baker in a spot that he might even have to be prep just a single snake to maintain the ability to even still win. which is
Yeah,
crazy to think about.
or even like if he B preps here, just imagine it goes library goat or library. It's just like do something, and that feels quite bad as well. So this is the proverbial rock in a hard place, just showing how bricking can kind of affect your gameplay. Baker's kind of running the numbers right now. It's probably going to end with an ink a card quest. Play, be prepared. I think is going to be the line, and it seems like that's what we're going to do here. As Snake go and adds one on into the lore total and prepare the pipes. As take it away, Luke.
Be prepared.
That's pretty good. Teeth and ambitions all bet. Something like that. We'll work on it. We'll shop it around. I don't know. It's pretty good.
I've sang it
7.
like 3 times already this stream.
That's pretty good.
I was prepared.
As the genie is going to come on in representing a 2-piece, and we'll send the Diablo in as well. That's another lore. And if these both can quest, the goat in hand will win. So Baker needs to get to that Sisu right now, the big one. We need another ink. Maybe you got it in hand. Maybe that's one of the cards you bricked on earlier. The big Sisu, the emboldened warrior. Did I nail it?
I think so. Oh wait, the emboldened warrior's the 3-drop. Is that what you're talking
Dang
about?
it. No, I need the 8-drop. Is that empowered sibling? I get it mixed up literally every time, and we're gonna have to rip the prep. Dang. So that does feel bad. It is basically a 1-for-1 and your entire turn. So negative tempo, but you had to do it because that was lethal damage in play.
Yep.
Let's see if we can do it as we'll ink
Thank
the
you for
library.
the subs in chat, and they also had a question if we're using set 8. Not yet. This week is still set 7. We have today's, Wednesday, and Friday's match, and then we'll have a day off for Monday, and then we should be starting up again with the first round of top 8 on Wednesday. We just have to make sure that the schedules work for everyone. It's a little more difficult now that we do need to wait for these matches to finish to see who's even playing in the top 8. But the top 8 will be set 8. This also gives the players a week to get the cards.
I think it's a good idea. Just make sure it's fairness and transparent across the board, as it looks like Baker is just going to go right on into Scoop Town. And let's see how much shuffling we get on this deck, man. I think you got to put a maximum amount of shuffling here, because it seemed like the cards just were not coming in the correct order there.
Maybe we sang "Be Prepared" too many times, and it kind of just like clogged up his hand.
That could be what it is.
It's
that could
our
be
fault.
For sure.
Bro.
He might still be actually Jafar right now. I'm telling you, Luke, I had a good time. Yesterday during Baker's birthday. Shout out to him, man. Hanging out with him and playing Palace Heist, but we weren't just playing standard Palace Heist. We were playing role-playing Palace Heist, which was actually quite fun.
You kept talking about Little Dominic and how much you loved Little Dominic and Brant, and then Garrick and I were like, "Hey, where's our love, bruh?
No,
where's our love, bruh?
Clearly, I loved you guys.
Clearly, you hated both of us, and that's why you kept saying how amazing the other two are, which they were.
I wasn't ready. Like, I was ready for you, okay? Because we've done a heist before, okay? You, me, and Garrick. That was already done, but I wasn't ready for Little Dominic, okay? I wasn't ready.
You weren't ready for Little Dom.
I was not ready for Little Dom, okay? And I was not ready for Brent and his unwielding neutrality, dude. That was just really funny. I don't know why. It was just cracking me up. Little Dom kept reminding everybody how he's 10 years old. It was just so much, dude. It was pure comedy. I was dying.
I loved the like. As soon as I said I'm 10, I realized I had made a mistake.
I was dying. I'm sorry. I couldn't get enough, man. But it was a good time. I had a blast with it. I think adding another layer to something like that, because that's, you don't really get a chance to do your nerd stuff too much, man. I think we're too cool in this community sometimes. But just letting my nerd flag fly from time to time. I gotta do it. And Baker,
I've not played a D&D style game in a few years, so it was fun to kind of do that again.
For sure. I had a blast. Oh, I'll do it again sometime. But Baker, who's going to have to say, put the D&D down, and hopefully you got a nice little curvature of the earth that you can play. Get these cards into the field of play. Altar, it looks like you sent a 5-piece, so a big altar coming in from the Lorcana villain as well. So maybe you got another Brickalopolis hanging on.
Brickalopolis.
A whole
City
whole house
built
of
on
bricks.
bricks. Man, that I've never heard of anyone building a city out of bricks before. That's woo. What will they think of next?
Non-stop brick factory. Hi, my name is Lorcana Villain. People call me Baker, and I like
He
bricks.
bakes bricks. He bakes
I bake-
bricks.
I like making bricks and selling them at flea markets. As we got Adrian out here with those cool Enter the Battlefield name placed mats. I like that a lot too. You see a lot of team swag, and I like the
No.
customization of it. You're not feeling it?
Well, all right, no. Like let me finish before you roast me. I was just gonna say, like, I don't know if I would want to play with my name on my playmat. It's hard.
I mean, you could put. I wouldn't put Luke. I think Wonderland would be.
Yeah,
would be
I think
good.
I'd put up with that, but like, if it had like, if it said Maelstrom, I wouldn't want it just to say Wonderland. I would want like the whole team's lineup or something like that necessarily.
Gotcha.
I don't know. It's kind of a jersey, I guess.
True. I don't know.
Ed
Like
in chat says putting your own name on your mat is cringe. Shots fired.
Oh,
Ed
man.
is calling out.
Ed,
Matt Lorcana villain.
I'm-
That is fair. Both players have their names on their board.
Listen, I'm going to start making a laundry list of things Ed Minshew thinks are cringe, and that thing is going to be long. Okay.
There's a lot of cringe things, JDZ.
He said Ruby Amethyst is cringe.
Like not
okay?
talking about the match. That's cringe. As we had a turn one followers into a Diablo, and then villain Baker, he shot back with a queen, a 1/4, which is gonna, kind of challenge that Diablo. But Adrian, he doesn't care because he's representing, he's bluffing maybe, or has it, a crab, which will then eat away on that queen and not even eat the Cusco away.
For sure. And he put the crab down into the inkwell, so he's selling crab very hard. Baker has to be cognizant of that.
He even inked a crab. Oh yeah,
he put one down in the inkwell, so he's selling crab. Baker's got to be buying at this point. I'm playing around it because you put one down, clearly you got another one. Unless Adrian just on some straight up, 5D chess, and he's going to show the crab and not have it. I'd be interested to see what his third turn play is going to be and what Baker is going to elect to do. Because if you send this queen or this Chernobog into this Diablo, you're going to be wearing a crab here, and you're not going to like it. So, interesting turn of events. I like a little gamesmanship. And Baker will get a little quest. Are we popping? No, we're bouncing. And we're sending here. We're going to send the crab. Oh, my goodness. The fox into the Diablo there. Sorry, a little fatigue setting in. I had to working hard today.
It's an interesting play. I don't know if I would do it or not. I don't know what's necessarily in Baker's hand. We're still giving our opponent a card for their like, this is what that wants to do, right?
Right.
Like I assuming, and he has to have the crab.
Like 100%. That's a mandatory crab. It was there. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you quest pop and just bounce, no challenge. But that Diablo is going to run with game 2, so you got to do it eventually in time, or maybe take it a bit slower. I'm not certain how that's going to go down, but maybe Baker's got another crab of your own, and you're waiting for this crab to come down, get exerted. Crab into a queen is a vibe. Let's see if you have that line of play, and if you're going to make the plays necessary to get that to happen as you're going into your fourth ink turn. Fourth ink turn?
Yeah, it's we need a rabbit.
For sure.
I feel we need a rabbit, and we need Adrian not to have a brawl, which is probably easy enough to happen. It's just like this game, because we've been trading resources and we're at a low amount of cards in hand already and characters in play, we want to be able to keep drawing cards. And if you can take care of that rabbit and he doesn't have another rabbit to be able to bounce that one, you can shut off a big card advantage engine and run him out of cards.
I think, and then you're gonna get, and once you get to this point, you got 3 cards left in hand. This is where you need to start setting up the refill turns. I would say, like you said, Genie, a rabbit, something. This Chernobog is good enough, but if your third turn play is play
Fourth
Chernobog
turn
pass.
play.
Turn 4 plays.
Turn play.
Yeah, turn 4 play, slam Chernobog pass. That seems
So that's no genie,
yeah.
no rabbit, no library, which I don't know if I'd want to play a library with a grab and play. A single fox, which we just see
Yeah,
inked, kind of deals with that.
Yeah, I concur. I concur mightily with your assessment as we do get to our genie here on 4. So you use all your ink. Baker used a quarter of his ink as we're going to pass back on over, going to the 5th turn play. Let's see if we get something a bit more dynamic coming in from the Lorcana villain to intrigue to make something happen. I don't know what that something is. Even an Elsa in this situation seems quite bad.
Just so chat knows, to get the bounty mat, you have to 2-0 them to get it from them. It seemed to be some confusion and people weren't understanding how that worked, which is a cool idea. I do like the concept to an extent. I almost would prefer it if they just lose. They gave it up, but I could understand with a mat not doing that. I'm assuming they give packs or something. I think if you take a game off of them, you should get a pack at least,
Or
right?
something, yeah.
Like Boosty Watch.
Let's go Boosty. I think it'd be better like a pack. I think they should do packs no matter what. Every loss they get a pack, and then you should have like across your chest or like a chain or something. You got packs hanging from it, and then when you win, you get to like snatch it off. Just make it like
Snatch it up.
Snatch it up. Yeah.
Give me that pack. Give me that
then, like,
Boosty.
So they're walking around and like swinging packs around their neck all day, just like I'm the champion. Who wants to, kind of vibes. I think it'd be cool. I like stuff like that. Just little unique things and adds to the community. And I appreciate those guys even doing that because, you put yourself out there and people are going to like try to come at you with everything they got. It's hard being famous, I don't know. I couldn't imagine. It's too much pressure.
So
as we are going to send...
Baker drew that. He found his rabbit a turn late. But, we had to dig with that one drop. And maybe Baker, once again, is stuck on his trademark 7 cost on inkables. And is just kind of trying to get to that point. But Adrian is really showing Baker how he's supposed to play the game. Play a 4 cost uninkable on turn 4 that draws cards. Not turn 5.
Yeah, Baker has been excuse me. Baker has been playing behind the curve all day. Like he has not put a card down on the same ink the whole round, the whole match, it seems. As he's been trying to make something happen, but the cards just have not been coming in the correct order. As we're doing it again, we're going down tempo again as the GOAT comes in for 4 on a potential 6 ink play.
I'd love to see a snake on this rabbit, but at the same time, if that happens, I would be sad that we didn't do that before playing the GOAT, which makes sense here. I don't know. It's interesting. He's really trying to get to 7-ish ink, it seems like. So he must not have inkables in hand. I'm just a little surprised he didn't draw a card off of that. The card he inked there, the broom,
right?
To get one deeper, which makes it seem like the other cards in his hand are good.
Maybe he's just so traumatized with the entire non-bricking situation. Like if you play that broom, play GOAT broom, and don't draw another inkable, you feel like a schmuck. You feel so bad because you have to miss another 6 cost ink turn like you did that last round, and you're feeling terrible. So just bird in the hand, twice in the bush. You guys know the vibes. I don't know the sayings out here these people are talking about. 2 in the hand, just got the ink in your hand, just ink it and get on with your life. I think is what Baker elected to do there, which, I mean, you can't hate it. I'm gonna have some allergies.
So yeah, it definitely seems like you got something from doing that event you did with your kids.
Oh, something's going down.
You are the conflu. You're gonna get sick.
No.
From the booth, you won't be next to anyone. But
no, I got the. It's not sick. I have like I was out there working grass all day too, just when I was moving. I had some hay fever or something, but I'm feeling fine.
Excuses.
And we'll take a huge finders keepers here, just to draw 3. Oh man, that card feels bad when it resolves against you. I hate it.
Yeah, when you're in a resource war and you're already losing, and your opponent's like, "Hey, might as well get a couple more." Yeah, why not? Why not 3 more? Why not?
And it feels even worse when you're just playing like super, like you have not hit a marker yet, and your opponent just seems like they have everything. They put Elsa down to the inkwell freely. And then we're going to get a nice quest in finally. So maybe you're trying to get some lore before a potential Be Prepared comes in. This Queen of Hearts hasn't done anything. It's been looking very, very bad this game. No crabs. Hate to see it. So now Baker will have the opportunity to play another Be Prepared. And I know in this matchup, typically the player that rips the Be Prepared first is probably going to be the one that does not walk out on top. So let's see if Lorcana Villain can potentially break this, or maybe you can find a couple of lines of play to keep your Be Prepared in hand. Your opponent's holding 7 cards. Dang.
We need a Medusa on the genie, and then we need to just trade the goat with the fox, and then eat the Diablo, and then just quest with the rabbit.
That could be
Possibly.
That could be the play.
Maybe not even quest with the rabbit. Depends on if we've got bounce in hand and no other rabbit, or what it is. But like, my thought is we need to answer this genie in a manner that's not Be Prepared.
Yeah, but also if you commit too much to the board and you end up aggressively costing this board situation, you could walk right into your opponent's Be Prepared and they could just blow you out. So it's a really weird song and dance that they're going to do, as your opponent has 7 cards in hand and then they're going into their Be Prepared turn. So if you commit too much to the board, you get yeeted, and now you're going to be down Omega, as Baker's also trying to weigh all this probably in his head right now going into that 7-8 turn. Do you play another character here or no?
No, apparently we don't. I would have loved a library and move rabbit to library.
Oh, that'd been clean. As Baker's still holding on to 2 cards in hand. That'd have been a really nice way to use all your ink. Just one of those things, man. The game happens that way sometimes, but I don't think Baker has had the opportunity to use all of his ink once in a single turn. This whole game, not even once, he has not utilized all his ink. Maybe turn number 1, and that's it. And
the one thing I've noticed from this game, rather than the unink thing, is that the Cusco looks a lot better than the Queen of Hearts so far. It's definitely, Queen of Hearts is not for this matchup, whereas Cusco is pretty good in this matchup.
Absolutely. As Genie's going to go ahead and get a quest in, so maybe Adrian is thinking about committing the first Be Prepared. As we get another crab going down, are we going to sing it? No, we're going to take Cusco. We're going to put the onus back on Baker to be the first one to get it going, as we'll send some more characters to the field of play. So now we got 3-3 to the board. Baker would do it for a 1-for-1 exchange plus a lore, if you count the rabbit. So Be Prepared being the card, rabbit being a plus, goat being a lore, crab going for free. So it'll be a 3-for-3 exchange. And your whole turn, by the way. So let's not forget that. As
yeah, it's not bad at all.
I'd like to see Baker, if Baker could maybe ink the hand a little bit, get the hand size down a little bit more, and maybe send your own Sisu, the Emboldened Warrior.
Ink play Sisu to banish 2 things and have a big Sisu and kind of like quest out while their Sisu is now 1-4. That would be kind of neat. That would be now. I don't know if the big Sisu's in the deck. We haven't seen the small Sisu at all. So if we're not seeing the small one, there's probably not the big one. But who knows? Maybe the big one was stuck in his hand last game, and he just has yet to draw the small ones. We'll see. Well, we're inking. Oh my goodness!
I got 8.
I am just psychic, apparently.
There you go.
I have not looked at the lists.
I have not
sent
either.
them to you. That was it.
I didn't.
Then that was it. I love it.
Hey,
Oh, it actually answers the other Sisu too.
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about that.
It shouldn't. I think he's got 2 in hand.
No, that's 1 in hand. It's 1 card, but it's a 2 on the dice.
Oh, it's 1 on the dice. Okay. So that's a huge Sisu here, but you are walking. Maybe Adrian doesn't have the Be Prepared. Never mind. I said it too soon. I didn't get to set it up. But teeth and ambitions are bared. Be prepared. What is I just know more lyrics to that song.
Well, it sounded good to me. Let's hope it sounded good to chat. I know that when you guys were singing on Baker's, it did not line up at all.
I honestly think that there is some kind of lag in something. I don't know if I'm lagging.
It sounded like poop, so apparently it's probably just the VDO.
I don't think that's
matchup. Maybe R&B said it didn't line up.
I think it might. We might. Are we lagging? I think we might. There might be some lag between the system. Okay, VDO lag issue. Okay, I can think. I think that's what it is. Because if I go B
R&B's a hater, they say. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Sploosh just wants us to sound terrible so he can mock us and laugh. He's like, hey, check this out. I'm going to make him sing some more. Adrian is just showing this is how this is what you do after you B prep. You draw more cards. While Baker's kind of just stuck with a Maui.
And Maui can't really do anything. Swinging that club, 2 cards in hand, up-tempo Maui with nobody to hit is just a depressing, sad experience.
Sharks on Adrian's list probably, too.
Yeah, looking at that Peter Pan Shadow Finder, that's a telltale sign as Maui just sitting there. Can he at least sing Friends on the other side? Give Baker a chance. Can you sing a friend? Has Baker deployed Friends? Where's your Finder's
Friends
Keeper?
Is okay. Finder's Keepers would be best.
I mean, Maui literally is doing nothing else. He can at least sing Friends on the other side. You're good for nothing.
You play the Maui there to kind of be like, hey, Adrian, like, I might have another Maui or Fox, and this way, if you play a library, I can deal with it.
For sure. But I'm saying, like, in that
B prep it.
What if Baker does have the hook?
Like never. It's not a great play. I'm just trying to give reasons for it.
I mean, you got to do it. You got to play. I mean, you have to play some cards, man. Baker has to put cards onto the field to play the game. Just doing nothing seems like not the right move either. Maybe another Sisu coming in could be great. A fish hook goes insane if you got one of those things in your deck. A little bit of technology to come on in to equip this Maui with the willpower needed, or the strength, or the motivation, I would say, to become evasive. I think that'd be nice. Let's see if Baker can get something done. 2 cards in hand versus Adrian's a million. It seems quite inevitable as Adrian has potential Lorthal in play if you got Goat in hand after that Pirate's Life resolves. And I think this seems automatic. Even if you exert, you can't even exert, but a Maui rushing in.
Maybe he's got 4-drop Pan. 4-drop Peter Pan.
Oh, that's something. Library is going to be deployed.
Late.
Yeah.
We needed this turns ago.
A long while, yeah. As we are going to go ahead and get the 2 cards here. Is there anything? A Brawl? Do you play Brawl? My Kingdom for a Brawl. I think I'd love that. That's a card that you play. A freaking... your own Peter Pan. Fish hook. Peter Pan won't do it. And it's going to be the GOAT. Not a Brawl. So this game looks like it could be coming to a screeching halt as we get the GOAT to rest up in the library.
It's just a GOAT or a Pirate's Life away here, and Pirate's Life it is.
Mm-hmm. And
2 more Be Prepareds.
Holy moly. Holy moly, as Baker is going to go down. It is a bit late over there for the Illumineer, known as Baker from the Lorcana villain, but it's time. Let's go ahead and hop over into the booth and let's talk to these players and let's see if hear them.
I know.
I'm just sorry I didn't give you more of an interesting match. If
that was good.
Gentlemen, Adrian and the Lorcana villain. I can't do it, Baker. I'm sorry. I can't do it.
You got to work on it, man. You got to know I'm going to get you to do it at World, so you got to get the reps. You got to lock in, JD. You got to lock in.
How do you not have an evil laugh, bro?
And Baker, it's good to see you out here representing the squad here for the ICL on a stand up late, putting in the hours. I do appreciate it, Baker. I love seeing you come out here and play, but it didn't work out for you this time. We got Adrian. We got the mirror. Adrian comes out, gets to the dub. It seems like your deck was humming along a little bit more than Baker's was today. It seemed like he had some serious, significant issues in terms of bricking, and he just wasn't playing to the top of the tempo at all. Can you just talk about this matchup, playing that mirror, and what were some things you were trying to do in order to give yourself an advantage in this particular mirror?
Sure. First, I want to say congrats to yourself and Villain for the world's casting. That's pretty dope. Second, thanks to my team. I wouldn't be half the player without them. They teach me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so back to the game. The mirror match is pretty much like who draws more cards, I think. And it was unfortunate there. Villain got stuck a lot. He even missed on game one. I think he forgot to ink there.
Yeah, I will get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that later on. But
We'll get to
pretty
that, we'll get to
much, yeah, it's just about like card draw, board presence, waiting for the B preps, and pretty standard stuff.
Okay. And for this event, as you know, we are still going to be in Arcadia's Island. Rain of Jafar has released. I know you play a lot of Ruby Amethyst. Are there any cards that you're looking for in this new set? Can you just talk about looking forward to the future? What cards are you trying to include? Do you think this deck is even going to be around in the next set? And we did see a player coming in from Southside Gaming. Shout out to Dylan. He got second place playing this strategy. What is the cards you're looking for to add to this deck to keep it going?
I haven't been like cooking too much lately, but that Monstro card seems pretty interesting, especially like a late game board clear. Yeah, honestly, I haven't been looking at set 8 too much, so I'm sorry for the lack of knowledge there.
No problem, man. You demonstrated your knowledge tonight, man, playing this deck against a high profile, pretty talented opponent, and you came out and got to the dub. But before we talk to him, I'm gonna kick it over to Luke. You got any questions for Adrian before we talk to Villain and see exactly what happened in that particular round?
I mean, it's hard to have a question. He seemed to have it every single time. Did you feel like you had it every time, Adrian?
Who's muted? Someone's muted.
Sorry.
Yeah, so my teammates helped me build the deck pretty consistently because we weren't too sure. Someone just dropped. Yeah, we weren't too sure what we were gonna play against. So I had like the 10-1 drops, the Cuscos. So the curve is pretty nice, and you can always find something with these cards. I think I'm running like 11 uninkables, so it's pretty hard to brick. But I did feel pretty like in control every turn, especially getting ready for like the B preps and all that stuff. I got lucky this time with the card draw, so I can't complain.
Absolutely.
Also, too, it was the coaching I got from Wonderland on set 2 that helped me a lot. To throw that in there.
It's the Ruby Amethyst coaching I gave in set 2.
Yeah.
I do believe I said just draw more cards and have the cards on curve when your opponent doesn't, and you're surefire to win.
That's it. That's all you can do.
For sure.
Yeah, the Cuscos did seem to be a little bit better than the Queens were, but as we said in the match, they kind of are not for this matchup, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
No,
they're good for like Steel Song and stuff like that.
Yeah. They're not really like you can get value out of them. Like if you can crab boost your queen into an opposing crab, then like you can get some value in the long run because you get the 2-for-1 generally. Like it takes the crab and then it survives to take a fox or something. But it's not for this match.
Yeah,
for sure. Okay. But Villain, while you're here, while we got you, let's just talk about your perspective, okay? Let me hear some of your insights about this mirror. Again, I'm glad to see you here. I had a blast playing yesterday. We talked about that on the stream as well, kicking it with you on your birthday, doing a little bit of Palace Heist. And now we're here in the Lorcana Heist. So are you still Jafar right now? And what happened in that match? Can you talk about it? It felt like everything was going wrong. It seemed like you were bricked quite heavily, and you just never were able to play all your ink all the way up. Probably until you play, be prepared. Can you just talk about what happened, what went wrong, and how do you think you could have managed to do anything different, if possible?
Yeah. So you said, am I still Jafar? If anything, like I'm blaming you and the rest of the heist people who took my Hexwell crown. That's like the source of my power. Like clearly that being stolen has had an adverse effect. So thanks for that. But no, on a serious note, I agree with Adrian's evaluation. It's not exactly rocket science, but it comes down to who can draw the most cards and just attrition the opponent out of the game. You want to see certain things on curve. Game one, I said this to Adrian at the end of game one. I literally just forgot to ink on turn 6, and there's 2 reasons that I can give for this. By the way, not excuses. Reasons, because they should never be. It's always your fault as far as I'm concerned. But for context, on turn 4, I didn't have the crab, so I had a queen on board. So he had a library which I'd already put 4 damage onto on turn 3. when I crab boosted the queen to put 4 damage on it. Then turn 4, I didn't have a fox or a crab to then finish it on that turn, which was a little scary. That was like, I would have loved a fox or a crab. I'm running 4/4 of both. I just used 1 crab, so I was really hoping to see one. Didn't. It happens. And then as I go into turn 5, I was like, I really need to find either fox, crab, or Maui to answer this library on this turn. I sang Friends with the rabbit, and the Maui was the second card. And I was just so relieved to draw into the answer I was looking for and be like, okay, I can deal with this library now. I just threw down the Maui, challenged in, and just completely forgot to ink. And I'd even thought earlier in the turn that, like, if I did ink that turn up to 6 and had B prep online, I think that first game is a bit different. Like, Adrian was still in quite a controlling position, but I definitely think it would have gone on longer and it would have been a bit more back and forth to get that prep. Like, it does make a difference just getting it down that 1 turn early. Again, not making excuses. That's on me. It happens. I will be aware of it and try not to do it in the future. But yeah, I do think that had a big impact, and we might have got a few more turns out of the game. Game 2, yeah, I do feel like the deck just kind of gave up on me on turn 4. I played a 1-drop. I didn't see a rabbit or a goat or even like a library plus 1-drop play, would have been fine. So that was unfortunate. And then the turn that we went up to, I didn't have B prep on 7. Not that it necessarily would have been the best turn on 7, because he'd done a good job about not overcommitting to the board, obviously expecting that B prep.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have been the highest value one anyway, but I didn't get it. But I had the Sisu. And on turn 8, I felt like I didn't really have any choice other than to play it because this genie was there. I knew he had a lot of cards in his hand, and it was every likelihood that I was then getting prepped and going down to 1 card or 2 after the rabbit draw. But I didn't have an answer for the genie at that point. I didn't have Brawl. I didn't see a Medusa. And I just felt like I needed to take a risk. And again, the odds were that he's had B prep, but as a player that has played Ruby Amethyst pretty much exclusively since the beginning of the game, and I'm sure Adrian will back me up here, sometimes you do have 7 cards and you still don't bloom and see it. It feels like impossible, but it happens. So I was just I feel like I'm in a losing position here. I feel like I need to make a play that, there's not a great chance for reward, but if he doesn't have it, then I definitely zoom ahead with the amount of bodies on board. I think it was Goat, Rabbit, a 1-drop, and a Sisu. So it wasn't. It was a risky play, but I felt like it was the best way to stay in the game, give myself a chance in the game after a super dodgy start. And then the turn I played just Maui, I had 3 Mauis in my hand, and then the next turn I drew Shadowbox Followers, and I was like, well, this is just getting Elsa'd. But I was like, well, I'm at 8 ink. Going to 9 doesn't really change much for me at this point in the game. I might as well just play the bog, and if he doesn't Elsa, then at least I'll get another card draw. I still thought the game was pretty much over by that point anyway. But let's play it through to the end, right? We're here to put on some content for the people, so let's play it through to the end and do what we can do. And I even said to him after I think he went Finders Keepers and then something else, and I said to him as he passed, I was like, I'm so surprised this bog survived.
Yeah.
and then I topped the library. I was like, oh, this would be okay if I wasn't so far behind already. So, but hats off absolutely to Adrian. Played a great game. Game 1 took advantage of every situation, and game 2 just knew he was in control, knew he didn't need to take too many risks, and hats off to him. Hats off to the entirety of ETB. My apologies to my beloved Villain Club. JDZ, I will say, you mentioned that it's nice to see me come along and play eventually, and I will be honest, I did intend to play before this, but things kept coming up. But I do think it's kind of in character for the villain to let the henchman do all the hard work and then just come along at the last minute and try and claim some of that glory. Obviously, it's sad to not be able to get the Villain Club on the table, but I'm confident in my guys. And again, ETB are a great team. They've been their first seed for a reason. So yeah. Good game to Adrian. It's a nice send-off as well for set 6. For set 7. This probably wasn't the best example of it, but generally I felt like I've had a pretty good season. I played a lot this set. Did the Ravensburger event with over 500 people, which was like the closest I've ever come to like a DLC standard of play, and came 71st, missed top cut by 1 point, was super happy with my play. So overall, I felt like it's been a good season. So I'm not too disheveled, and I'm super excited to get into set 8 and obviously the World Championship.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Awesome.
It's still a pleasure to see you out here cooking, Blake Baker. And you pretty much nailed everything. And we did cover most of the things that you said in the commentary. So if you want to listen back and get some our feedback if you care about that thing at all, man. It was a really good time. And seeing you come out here and do your thing, it's always going to be a pleasure. But we got more. We got to see your guys out here get loose and get active in round number 2. And ETB, let's see if they can get the dub. Luke, are you ready to do? But before we go, gentlemen, I want to kick it back over to you guys. And let's get your goodbyes and your good shout outs. And the floor is yours. We'll start with you, Baker, and then we'll kick it on over to Adrian before we set up for round number 2.
Yeah, shout out to ETB and Adrian, the entire team. Shout out to, of course, you wonderful casters. Shout out to the judges, particularly Ellie, who kept reminding me to not show my hand to the camera. Shout out to you. You're a legend. But yeah, shout out to all the judges involved and everyone involved in the ICL in general. Shout out to my team, Villain Club, who are absolutely incredible players, human beings, and friends. And lastly, good luck to everyone for the rest of the games tonight. That's pretty much it, really.
Let's go.
Awesome. I'll piggyback on that. Thanks to the casters, to the ICL. You guys do an amazing job, amazing production. We appreciate everything. Thanks to Lorcana Villain and to the Villain Club. You guys are top tier competitors, as are everyone in this league. And shout out to my team for making me a good player. And that's it. Thank you guys.
All right. And thank you guys both, man. Have a good one. And we'll see you around. You guys make sure you check out Baker on YouTube and check out ETB and all their socials as well. But gentlemen, I'm gonna let you go. We're hopping back into the booth, Luke. I'll meet you there. Have a good night.
Guys.
Thanks, Baker.
Bye-bye.
See you, Baker.
Great
Ciao.
games.
Bye-bye, mate.
Great games, bro.
All right. Oh, I might have had you double.
One of these days.
There.
I'm back now. One of these days.
I might
I'm
have heard you
figure out
twice at the end.
Okay, I'm going to figure out how to do this whole video to Discord thing, but it's really cool. I like that match a lot. I do enjoy seeing Baker. Maybe I need to get into the dojo and get my game on, join a team or something. I don't know, but it's fun. It's really fun. And unfortunately, the matchup didn't go the way that I like to see him go. A little grindiness. But shout out to them, and I thought it was great. But I'm looking forward to it. We got more coming up. So if you guys like that kind of thing, you're going to like what you see next, because we got some more fantastic players. As Villain Club is down 0-1, ETB is up. More matches are coming your way, so stay tuned.
Yeah, we're gonna pop over here. I know you love just watching me listen to JDZ talk, which is what I do when I cast and produce at the same time. JDZ thinking I'm throwing shade at him, but I'm just
Luke. Luke. We work together all the time. Luke, shut up. Okay, you can jump in. We can talk. You're gonna make me not talk anymore. Okay. You're hurting my feelings, all right? I'm just trying to have a good time. But that match was great. I like
you're doing great. You're doing fantastic.
Thanks,
making it so I can actually do the production stuff.
And that's a lot, man. People don't know how much you're cooking behind the scenes, and I hate that. Okay, I hate that for everybody. You don't get enough credit for this ICL thing. Okay, there's a lot going on.
Oh, I get plenty. I get plenty of credit.
Okay, I don't think it's enough. That's my opinion.
I'll let you and J-Bomb talk about it then. We're gonna swap over. This is probably the last you're gonna see tonight. There's not a post show tonight. I do believe we're gonna try to raid into the Illumineers after the event if they're still online by the time we finish. But I'm gonna let you and J-Bomb chit chat while I fix up the scene for the next round.
Let's do it, man. Get J-Bomb in here. What's up, J-Bomb? How you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful.
You look wonderful. I like the suit. Okay, I like the glasses. I like everything you got going on. Okay, how many hot dogs have you eaten today?
No hot dogs. We took it off today.
I don't believe it.
Might have gone too much on the chicken in this hour I've been off here. A little full right now. So
are you barbecuing?
Barbecuing, yeah. Yeah, some raspberry barbecue chicken. Raspberry chipotle.
Let's go. J-Bomb eating good in the neighborhood. Pics? Instagram? I'm a foodie. Can we get some of that? No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. Next time. But were you able to tune in to that match that we just watched? A little bit of Ruby, Amethyst, Mirror. Is that something you think we're going to have more coming up into this into this next run in Reign of Jafar?
It might just be Mirror City today. I don't know if for Reign of Jafar. Let's see. Yeah, I think there's still going to be a lot of mirrors because I think there's two very, very, very good decks.
Yeah.
that are just quite a bit above the other right now. So if you like mirrors, Rainer Jafar might just be the set for you.
I don't know. I like a good mirror, but I like a mirror that is. These mirrors are going to be very volatile. These Rainer Jafar mirrors are going to be.
Oh yeah.
Either who you got it. There's going to be a lot of famish. I don't know. It could be too swingy. I like my mirrors a little. I don't know, a little more gamesmanship in there. But it's going to turn into Beyond the Horizon Turbo.
Yeah. Speaking of Beyond the Horizon, did you happen to catch the Southside Gaming Finals where
I did.
I think he drew 15 cards after Beyond the Horizon?
18 cards. It was 18 cards. Okay. It was repulsive. I watched that whole thing, and honestly, I watched a vast majority of the Southside Gaming event. And I did mention this on my stream as well. And I saw Beyond the Horizon resolve quite a few times throughout the tournament, and they were all quite low impact. I was kind of surprised with the amount of what results you were getting from the Beyond the Horizons, but in that particular moment, it changed my mind forever. 3 Prince Johns, discard 5 cards, draw 18, ridiculous. But we got another one, and that's going to be next week. Okay, when we come back from the ICL, we'll probably see a little bit of that featured here. But we are still going to be on Arcadia's Island. We got the one, the only Habibi face off against the one, the only Mr. Bivvens, and this is going to be a knockdown, drag out, winner take all brawl. I'm here for it, J-Bomb. Are you locked in and laser focused? Are you ready to see these two titans of the industry get busy here in the ICL on a Monday? Don't touch that dot.
Oh man, I don't know if I can match your energy right there, but I'm going to try. But yeah, I'm very, very excited to see this match. This is going to be two titans battling it out. And I'm excited to see what Zach Bivvens is on. If he's going to, because I know he was on the yellow-green discard on Saturday, but let's see. And that was Rainer Jafar, but let's see if he's pivoted here.
And I did see him on another streaming opportunity. He's playing a little bit of Ruby Sapphire as well. So I think Mr. Bivvens is trying to just get into his bag a little bit and just play a multitude of different, unique strategies in order to prepare for the Conquest format in the World's Tournament. I understand you're going to a Conquest event this weekend. How are you preparing for that? How is it working out for you?
It has been the toughest grind of my Disney Lorcana career because there's so much to think about in this Conquest format. So you've got your work cut out for casting World. So I'm very excited for you to get that opportunity. But when you can ban a certain color, you're able to tech your deck out like nothing we've ever seen before. And so now I have to test with that tech versus other people who are also tech, and it's like Techception City here. And so it's very, very complex mind games. And so there's the one option of just play the good decks and then don't worry about all this testing and get rid of all that anxiety. And so, but yeah, it's been tough to test for that format.
For sure. I'm excited to see how it goes out because I know a lot of people will be experimenting with the triple deck core constructed format. I think that's going to be a nice staple that I know my local game store is talking about hosting an event that way. And I hear people are doing those events all over the country. So I think it might be a new standard here in Disney Lorcana. I'm looking forward to it. I want to try it myself. Just that extra additional gamesmanship that's going to really, really test these players. Deck building, deck playing, being unpredictable. I think that might be a part of it too. Like you said, maybe showing up with the standard decks could be good. I'm thinking the winner is going to be doing something that is going to be unpredictable to really give yourself the best opportunity to think outside the box and take full advantage of the entire format. As it looks like we're getting those cuts in, Zach Bivvens will be on the play.
Yeah, well said, JDZ. I'm right there with you. And it looks like we're just going to get into this. As you said, Zach Bivvens on the play, starting our altars here. Hopefully we can get a nice, good match here. I'm very excited. I've not gotten to see a lot of Zach Bivvens play, so I'm very excited to see him today.
Yeah, every time Zach Bivvens is on the ones and twos, you got to tune in. It's must-see TV. Very strong player, strong Pokemon player as well. I think he has a great deal of success there as the altars are getting done. We're sending a whole bounty back. What do you think about that? Altar Academy, when you see your opponent send 6.
Now, I don't know what colors he's on right now, but sending 6 backs can mean a lot of things. To me, it's a telltale sign that he missed ink he missed turn 2 ramp if he's on Ruby Sapphire. So that could be the case. We see Habibi, he looks like he's altering 3 or 4. And so yeah, when you see people alter that much and you don't know what colors you're on and you're blind, it can be giveaways. And so the other option is it could be Emerald Steel and he's going for Diablo hard aggressively, but can't wait to see what colors he's on.
And like, it could also be Emerald Amethyst, Emerald Amber as well. As you mentioned, he did play that strategy this weekend. Emerald and Amber Under the Sea, which is still
Yep.
very viable deck in the in Arcasia's Island. It's still going to be pretty good going into the Azurite Sea, or excuse me, Azurite Sea, going into the Terrain of Jafar. So I think that deck is just good all the way around. Even in a set 4, I mean, it's still good. The deck has been good, and players that can play that deck well will always find a way to have some success. We're going to break the tension right here and see what Mr. Bivvens puts into the inkwell, and maybe we'll tell a story of what the strategy is as it is. The hiss.
Yeah, so it looks like he is going to be playing a similar deck to what we saw him play at Southside Gaming on Saturday. And Habibi on his famous Steel Song, as we all, I think, predicted here. And he gets one of the strongest openings for Steel Song with the Cinderella.
And it might be a little bit weaker now that his Ursula's going to come on down and be able to snipe one of those Storm Rages on. And Ursula can also tank a Storm Rage on. So she does come out, get a hit. And I think Habibi's going to be a little bit distraught to see that. But in this matchup, typically, what do you think? Who do you think has the advantage in this particular matchup? The Under the Sea player or the Steel Song player?
It really depends on the first couple turns. It can go either way very, very easily, but if the Under the Sea player can get the time and set up an Under the Sea, he will be in very good shape. Ursula, as you see Zach having on the board already, is one of the key cards in this matchup to prevent Habibi from going off aggressively. Zach would have been disappointed to see the 2 storms there, but he did get to stop that second one at least, and so he does have some fighting fuel. What he's going to want to do is be able to develop these warded characters like Prince John and really just dilute Habibi's resources quickly before he can start getting these singers online and going through these aggressive wheels.
Oh, for sure. I think that would be the idea. And also just getting aggressive and just start questing heavily, as it looks like we're about to send that Ursula in, but maybe you're like, I don't know if my opponent got into another song, as we're going to use all of our ink to get the Prince John established. Getting super aggressive and just start questing. Questing, as I say. It hasn't taken off very well, J-Bomb. I'm going to keep sending it, and maybe it might pick up a little bit of steam here as we get into the range of far. Aggressively questing, and no one is biting. Can you please say that? Can you give me something? Is there anything?
I'll bite. I'm all for the agwesting.
Thank you.
Anytime we can just change up words, make up Dr. Seuss style syllables here, I'm all for it.
All right, I'll try to keep shopping it around, and maybe I can get that one moved into the Lorthal lexicon, as the agwesting technique is working. You are going to exert that Cindy again just to try to win the game before they can start setting up these powerful combinations and ripping your hand. I think that is the play, as Pete is another very, very strong card in this matchup. As you know, J-Bomb, this deck is very action based, as the muses are going to come in. And so if you keep chaining those Petes and agwesting in the process, you're going to be on your way.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking Habibi might not have had a very good turn 3 play, because you normally don't like to see the Pete that early when there isn't a very good singing opportunity on the other side from the discard player. From there, he really could only sing with Prince John, and if you sing with Prince John, you're pretty happy. So that tells me that was one of the only plays, and Habibi just wanted to keep putting pressure on that board, because Pete is much stronger when you have something like this muses out.
For sure. I would love to see a Pete coming down. I think he wanted to block the "You Have Forgotten Me" play, which is just devastating before you can reduce cards from your hand. Because if you can go Prince John into "You Have Forgotten Me," you can go ahead and just forget the win, because that is just very, very difficult to come back from. So getting the Pete down to stop that from happening, and then maybe you can get your hand size below the amount of a powerful "You Have Forgotten Me." I think that might be good enough.
Fair point too. Yeah, in this turn, it looks like Habibi is precariously pondering his possible plays, and he decides to go with the Naveen to bring out the strength and take out that Ursula.
That was really good. Oh, man, that was good, dude. I love a good alliteration. And that was a 4-piece there.
That was my homework from you last time.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I can't compete. I'm a little fatigued right now, and I can't match wits with you right now, because that was really good. And that was a strong 4-line alliteration here in this tournament. I think I cannot compete. As we got the music still up and active, Prince John doing his thing, as the strength is going to go ahead and remove the Ursula, the only unwarded character on the board, as the agwesting technique is continuing to persist. Now you can sacrifice your muses if you want to kind of clear this Smee, but is that good enough?
Yeah, I'm not sure it is because right now the lore total is actually getting out of hand very fast. And so we see Habibi already at 7 with another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the board that could potentially bring him to 13 on his next turn. And
Hmm.
so Zach is really going to have to start answering the board quickly. Otherwise, Habibi is going to get into a 1 to 2 turn Lorthal very, very quick.
Yeah, you put out the Diablo, who is could essentially just be cannon fodder right now. You understand your opponent might be able to been hanging on to some songs. You haven't been able to put one on Prince John. You haven't been able to put any on the Muses. So you have had a few draw cycles in between, but you play the Diablo out just in case. And let's see if this bird is going to turn into a pile of feathers here. And I think that might be what is about to happen. I was just in 5-piece in for a Zeus, and we will blast the bird. Overkill. Dang.
Yeah, and it looks like Habibi is that one card in hand, or is that part of his untapped Inkwell,
I
unexerted Inkwell?
I think that might be it might I think that might be hand over there to the left, I want to say.
Yeah, he's either got no hand or one card in hand. So he is also pretty close to out of resources himself. So if Zach can actually answer this board, he's going to be in very good shape. Unfortunately, if his hand is at 0, the Prince John is going to lose a lot of value there. And about half his deck from the discard is going to be okay. So it is part of the Inkwell. So he does not have a hand. So a lot of the cards in Zach's deck, which he uses to gain resources for himself with that Prince John, are going to be null and void. But if he can answer this board, Habibi has nothing left.
And that is a technique that a lot of players use to combat this deck. That is a technique that a lot of players use for this deck. They go ahead and try to just get a nice board set up and then expunge your hand in order to prevent this type of thing from happening. As we go ahead and bring out the Kita here on 5, reducing all characters down to essentially 0. It does only work for characters on board to protect those Muses. Prince John had to clear the Naveen in order to break up that Sing. So you're just trying to do everything you can. You are on your back foot trying to fight your way back into this thing. And then Smee comes in.
Yeah, and I think Smee is very, very, very an okay draw, and Zach Bivvens is very excited to see that because he can just deal with these low-cost characters. Habibi is at 15. I did really like this trade, play Kita, protect my Muses play. That is very, very heads up. He agreed that Habibi has no hand. This Prince John's not going to give me much value, so let's prevent the lore train from coming to the station when take out that Prince Naveen.
Absolutely. I think that is 100% correct, but you did have to kind of utilize your Kita before you wanted to, so you're not going to be able to deploy your combo if I guess Prince John and the Muses together wouldn't have been strong enough, wouldn't have had enough vocal assortment. The range wouldn't have been great enough to sing Under the Sea anyway. You need to get to some aerials. That is just the tail of this match. You have not been able to deploy any aerials, as you are going to sing Under the Sea here, which is quite low value, just bouncing Muses back. That doesn't feel good. Losing just the Cindy there just to break up what could be a tremendous amount of lore, bringing the Muses back into the play. That felt bad. I hate to see it, as we're going to go ahead and leave with 2 cards in hand. What do you think about that play?
The other choice was to just trade into the Pete with Kita, and then you can't play the Under the Sea, and he still has the Cinderella. I guess you could also trade your Muses into the Cinderella, so then you're just left with the Kita with 2 HP versus Smee. I don't hate that either. I think his thinking is he would rather have a healthy Muse and a healthy Kita to the Pete and Smee, and have Habibi be around 18 lore. And so I think that is probably the safer play, and I'm inclined to agree with Zach Bivvens' thinking here.
For sure. Just slow down the opponent a little bit, I think, is the play. And also, you're going to reveal the whole new world. So if you do have another Kita and another Under the Sea this turn, you can get that patent pending board wipe. But it's Habibi too far ahead. You're sitting at 18 lore. Granted, this deck can kind of just take over the game and turn the gas pedal on in a major way. But I think 18 might just be a bit too high in order to combat that. As we're going to send the Kita in, we're going to send the Muses in, leaving nothing but an Ariel, who is going to be free and clear to sing. Check that. No, it's not. Ursula's going to come on down and take that whole new world.
So this is interesting. If he has a song, I don't know if he wants to get rid of this Ariel. He probably does to stop the lore, but 18 to 19 isn't 20, so he is not out of the picture yet. This Naveen is going to be tough to answer without some sort of combo pieces, especially with just a couple cards in hand from Zach here. So Zach's now going to have to deal with every single character that Habibi plays. Now, the good news is there's one deck that is really good with doing that because of the muses, and it's this deck. So he is not out of it. This is kind of like Ruby Sapphire, where if they're not at 20, you still have a chance, but it looks like Zach's going to go ahead and scoop it up, and we're going to go to a game 2 here.
For sure. And that aerial being found and coming in and whiffing is one of those reasons. Every time that happens to me, whenever I play Amber, whenever I play aerial and I don't hit, I just want to confetti that spectacular singer across the boulevard, dude. I want to tear that thing into the finest pieces I can and just get it out of there, because you haven't even played that many songs. Okay. You have not played that many songs. You haven't inked that many songs. Why are you not able to find a song, big dog? We are 13, 14 cards to this deck. Get busy and find me a song. But I hate that for Zach Bivvens, and we've all been there. If you play Aerial Spectacular Singer more than one time, she will not do what you pay her to do. As Habibi comes in early on the draw, gets the dub over Mr. Bivvens, who is trying to withstand, and I think just not getting peated. I think Pete kind of goes through this deck, man. So what are you trying to do if you're Mr. Bivvens this time to try to even the battlefield a little bit to ultimately come out on top?
I think you're going to want to play some discard cards. We didn't see a single one that game, and this is a discard deck, so you didn't get to do any part of your main game plan. You did get Habibi to pretty much 0 cards, but you gave him a lot of lore to get there, and you didn't really use any of your combo pieces together. You just kind of played a less than average board game with the muses and the Kita there.
Yeah, that's not the win condition. That's not the path to victory. What about Habibi though? I think Habibi wants to continue that same plan. Get your hand down, manage your resources well. Try not to get Ursula too hard, and quest, dude. Aggressively quest until the game is over. And I thought you saw that Cindy went for a 4-piece. Smee went for a full on 6, and you had Pete going crazy. Like he wasn't questing when like these huge heavy questing character. You got Cindy out there getting busy. A lot of people don't quest with the Cindy too much. He was like, nah, she's getting loose, she's not singing, just get her questing, and that is going to be a difference maker.
Yeah, it just, in the words of Boomy Jr., you just want to be turning your character sideways against this style of a control deck here. And so Habibi's just gonna, as you said, he wants that lore and he wants it fast, and the faster this game goes, or the longer this game goes, the more percentage points Zach Bivvens gets towards his win condition. And so Habibi just wants to get this one over with quick and fast.
Exertion is the key. Exert. Let's get them things sideways, as we got another pretty healthy altar coming in from Mr. Bivvens. I think that's 4-piece going back into the bottom of the deck, as Habibi looking to send maybe 3 or 4 as well.
And 4 is just in the sweet spot of what you want to be altering as the Amber Emerald discard. When you're sending 6, that's like, that's not what you want to be doing. So this tells me he's likely keeping probably Prince John, maybe an Ursula, or the Diablo shift line. And so we're probably going to see a lot more of the combo going, and Habibi might have to be more aggressive with his altar, knowing that Zach is altering basically with what he wants to do as his plan A game plan.
For sure. I like to see if I'm Zach, I go Diablo on 1, see the song, Ursula come on down, rip it, Prince John, muses, vibrate magnificently, or maybe you can weave an Ariel in there or something, or maybe you can even go Prince John into the muses, or excuse me, Prince John into the Ursula to kind of get some value there. So it's a lot of gamesmanship. We'll see how it plays out, but I'm fairly confident that we'll get a Diablo here on 1, and we'll be able to have a little bit of inside information on how these players are going to accost these remaining turns, as Mr. Bivvens is going to be on the approach again, starting off early, get a nice little tight hand shuffle in. Habibi still getting them shuffles in. I'm calling the judge right away. I'll put that deck down and let's duel, dude. Put him down. No, I'm kidding. I love Habibi. I'm just
getting that great randomization.
As we're still thinking how we're going to do it. 1, 2, 3. No, I'm kidding, man. I heart Habibi all the way. As I also love Enter the Battlefield. I have had the chance to do their broadcast on their Enter the Battlefield end of season event that they host. It's a really, really fun event that they do up in their area, as we get the Cricky into the Diablo. Are you Cricky or Crikey on your pronunciation?
Cricky, but I am not 100% sure if that's correct.
Okay. I say cricky. I know I've heard some people say crikey, but I'm not sure if that's right either. So I just don't say anything. I assume it's cricky and just keep it moving. As the Diablo does come on down, you did not see a song either to accost your shifted Diablo. So that is very, very interesting, as the Robin Hood is going to come down, being able to check off this Diablo obedient Raven. Let's see if we get a shift line to come on in.
Yeah, and if you're holding Ursula, not seeing a song is almost scarier than seeing.
No, he has a song. He has a whole new world, but he doesn't have
right.
the ability to storm or strength the Diablo as of right now. Maybe that can change here in the next couple turns. They do play 4 copies of each of those, and some number of Zeus's as well.
Yeah, and one of those coming off the top and taking out your Diablo is extremely painful and will set you back quite a lot.
Mm-hmm. So this is gambling, and we're going to go for it. A little bit of gambling coming in from Mr. Bivvens, who is going to go ahead and get that shift in. You didn't see it. You got to be good enough to draw it, and we're going to get a quest in for 1. Let's see if Habibi has no way to deploy a song here on this next turn anyway. So Diablo is going to gain at least more card. Look at that Cove power turn.
Yeah, and this is the startup you want from Zach. You see that he doesn't have the songs. He doesn't have the Cinderella in case he top decks it. And then even if he did top deck it, he had the Cove. And so Zach is feeling much better about this game. He's going to get at least 2 draws from this Diablo at minimum. Likely more depending on what Habibi does, as he would have to get some sort of song in the next couple turns here and have the singer for it.
Absolutely. And we haven't seen Zach deploy an Ursula Deceiver yet. So he could probably wait for him to set up a potential singer and then rip it, as you know you're going to get a certified hit in that whole new world anyway. And maybe just taking a sneak peek of the opposition's hand. And maybe you leave the whole new world potentially if you can find an answer to this Diablo, who's going to be actually a little bit more difficult to get through. But now I think you might have to play the Ursula just to prevent a potential Zeus to clear your Diablo. So interesting plays coming in from both of these players. This is the game. This is why we play at Disney Lorcana. These decisions are very important. And
you've got your Oracle status right now. He actually did draw the strength. Just 1 turn early. He would prefer that to be on the top of the deck and not what he'd seen that turn, because that Diablo would have been toast. Now it still can be if we do get another strength off the top, but as far as I can see, it's very, very highly likely that this Diablo is going to live for a couple more turns now. That's not what Habibi wanted to see on that turn from Zach Bivvens.
Oh, for sure. So he knew he was coming, but he had to draw the card, and it just so happened to be strength as Ursula finds her way into the hidden cove next to the obedient Raven. Check that, devoted Herald, as we get another song. See if we can get another song off the top of the deck, as Habibi is kind of getting it going. But also you need to be considerate of the whole new world possibility. That will be able to kind of refill Habibi's hand, maybe find some more songs in the process. Maybe you can send another Ursula rip that, as Habibi is trying to fight for his life. Put one down to an inkwell. Ariel's going to search.
Ooh. And if Ariel hits the strength here, he's going to be very happy, because that Diablo will be toast. So that is what he's looking for. A Zeus would also work.
Zeus, yeah.
And so let's see what he gets. He's not snap picking it. Not what you want to see. As you said, there's nothing more painful than missing with the Ariel. I myself get irrationally angry when my Ariel misses, so I'm not the biggest fan.
I don't know why. I get so mad. I let it get. I feel like Ariel should say, when you play this card, you automatically get a song, because I feel so bad. I feel cheated, as we are going to go ahead and deploy the Ursula. So if you did have another whole new world in that pile that you sent to the bottom of the deck, it might have been value just keeping that in hand. Just in case this were a possibility. But you're going to go ahead and get it ripped here, as Ursula Deceiver comes on down, taking another song. But yeah, I feel so bad when it happens. I don't know. Maybe I got to start manning up or something. But
no, I'm right there with you. I get just rationally angry. I always tell people, I was like, I can't play these Amber decks as well, just because when my Ariel misses, I'm normally a stoic person, real happy, real good sport. I don't know, something in me just rises and releases when that Ariel misses.
And I'm telling you, I got this card down in New Orleans that I plan on playing in the next set, and I got one time to miss with that card, and I promise you, every Dino I see from then forth will be destroyed on site, going right into the blender. I can't. That one is going to break my soul. I missed a Robin Hood as well before. That feels just as bad as we see. But Ariel misses a lot, way more than she should. We're going to go ahead and send the Pete now. probably trying to protect the rest of your hand unit and play a card to the board as the board is starting to expand.
Yeah, and so Zach is still just exactly where he wants to be. Now with the Pete, he's not going to be able to do any songs or singing here to discard Habibi's last card, but he is feeling very good about the spot. His Diablo is very, very safe. He's got a board presence. Now, Habibi's got a 1 or 2 turn clock here to really get a song and make something happen and get rid of that Diablo. Otherwise, he's going to be just pretty much out of it, especially being at 0 lore. You never want to be behind lore to the discard player, as the discard player is almost always playing from behind.
For sure. And I think you're just kind of biding your time until the full combo, because you got all the singers you want. You're gonna have to keep playing Pete's for the rest of your life, it seems, as Ariel is going to blast a whole new world. This is interesting. I think this is interesting. Diablo can draw 14 cards if you want. Prince John will not trigger because notably you didn't have any cards in your hand to discard, so keep that in mind. Let's see how many triggers Zach Bivvens elects to take here.
And crazily enough, that Habibi also played the Pete, so he's going to be feeling really good about this whole new world. He's basically going to get to do whatever he wants, and Zach's not going to be able to sing anything, which is what his deck is made to do. He's just going to be able to just use his ink, play a couple characters, and pass, really. So Habibi actually, he solved that 1 or 2 turn clock and is in pretty good shape. He'd probably love to see another whole new world kill or take out that Diablo first and put Zach Bivvens back to a reasonable hand size so he's not at 14. But I thought he was about out of this game, and he's back in it right now. Yeah,
exactly, with all those cards. But Mr. Bivvens did kind of greed out and take a lot of cards in that exchange, which could be punishing if it doesn't work out for you, as you do have these Pete's. Let's say if you put some hits into this hitting Cove, or will you elect to leave that there, or what these Pete's going to do at all? Because I think if you clear that Cove, maybe you can get to your grab your sword. I know Habibi's big grab your sword gang as well in Amber Steel. That is a known thing. I haven't looked at the decks just yet, but I know he does believe in that card a lot, and he will rip it on you from time to time. So it won't do much with that hitting Cove being up and available. What do you think about Zach Bivvens drawing all those cards with the Diablo Whole New World? You could be walking headlong into another whole new world.
Yeah, you did discard one, so I'm not as fearful. I'm usually, when I see that, I'm likely to draw the 14. If we had not discarded one and I draw and got what I needed to like answer the situation, maybe have a Under the Sea or something, I might stop at 10. But I think since we did discard one of the whole new worlds, he's got 2 left in the deck. It's unlikely that he gets it right away. And if he does, we still have a decent chunk in the deck, and so I'm fine with taking the 14, and I probably would have taken the 14 as well. Okay.
So Mr. Bivvens agrees with you. I think he's more in tune with his deck than I can be, but I'm just so scared of just because you really don't have a clean answer to that. I guess you do have a clean answer. That's what I'm talking about. These 2 Ursulas can body up on this Ariel and take that singer off. And if you just want to hard cast another whole new world, be my guest. Or you do have Naveen, who can spam himself to the field of play and rip another whole new world and put you in a kibosh there, because you now have to make another tough decision of what you want to draw and how many, because Prince John's will trigger as well. So this is a very, very interesting and peculiar spot for Mr. Bivvens. Let's see how he does this.
Oh yeah, this is a very, very tough turn, especially with an active Pete, and so it's at least 2 Petes are gone from Zach Bivvens' perspective, and so you never want to see the Pete on the whole new world turn. And so here we go. It looks like Zach, I'm not sure what he's doing right now, because neither player is looking at their hand currently. Are we having some sort of technical difficulties right now?
There might be some tech issue, or they might be communicating with the judge. Let me just unmute myself in the Discord really quick to kind of get some atmospherics.
Yeah. All right. So stay tuned. JDZ is looking and seeing what's going on, trying to get everything sorted as we figure it out.
It seems like they're just having some tech issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, they're having some technological indifferences, and we should be back at it soon as we're checking a little bit to discard. Just they were having some issues with the PC and the communication as we are playing online throughout multiple time zones all across the world, and we're streaming. Bringing this information to you guys. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this. If you do, go ahead and slam a follow, and if you have a Prime Dog Nasty sitting around, go and toss it in the bucket for the ICL as this is a vibe. As we are going to hit the bare necessities to get a sneak peek of the whole hand. Let's see. We got to move the whole board over to show the entirety of the grip.
Now, I just want to remind you that Habibi started this turn with just one card in hand, added 2, ended up playing the Pete in a whole new world, and now he's looking at the entire hand with bare necessities. This turn could not have been better if he scripted it from any cards he had in the deck. Like this is exactly what you want to do to come back. You get to pick, you get to see what your opponent's planning. 3 Prince Johns is very interesting. So all the Prince Johns, if you hold New World again, all the Prince Johns are gone for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
so
but he doesn't have the ink to do it. I think this might be also kind of punishing too, because you do have those Prince Johns and those Ursulas, and you're not playing another whole New World next turn. You can absolutely forget about it, because that Prince John, maybe you can go even double Prince John or Prince John and Ursula next turn. Diablo, if you want, take a sneak peek and then send the Ursula, or send the Prince John, then send the Ursula, and then start ripping the cards from your hand and hope your opponent is not skilled enough to top deck another one. Or maybe you can even send the Aerial. There's a lot of stuff you can do this next turn. What are you sending here if you are going to be Habibi?
That's tough. He's going with the Paint the Roses to make the Under the Sea. Since he had 2, he couldn't get rid of that. The Painting the Roses is going to make the Under the Sea a bit weaker. So I can kind of agree with that. Now, he is going to be very disappointed to see that the last 2 Ursulas were drawn, because now his songs are pretty much null and void there, and they're going to be discarded because since he is currently peated, the Zach Bivvens is, Zach Bivvens is really just going to have his options of just either playing more Prince Johns or playing those Ursulas. And so I'm definitely going to see one Ursula next turn, and likely warded characters. I'd imagine he is probably going to avoid the Sir Hisses, but also he is discarding all of the songs this turn. So maybe we do see the Sir Hisses as well.
For sure. I think you got to clear that Singer 5, though, off the board, no matter what you do. Interesting turn for Mr. Bivvens. We got a chance to see. You can go for a 3 and a 5, or excuse me, a 2 and a 3 if you want. Put out another Prince John, but you won't be able to afford to move him into the Hidden Cove. You do have the opportunity. We're just going to send the Ursula right away and not try to greed it. And greed is good for you. And the Aerial as well. So that is scary, though. Aerial is going to be able to spectacularly sing next turn, or spectacularly whiff again, as Prince John gets another card draw. I still say that Singer 5 is mission priority, must be removed all day, every day. Could be wrong.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm right there with you. And I think Zach's going to be disappointed to see that the last card remaining is going to be the Storm and Aerial, because after you discard all of your opponent's songs, the last thing you want to see is Aerial, letting him dig for a song of his choice, really, assuming she doesn't whiff. But we have seen a couple whiffs today. And so, he actually has to forgotten me.
Peated.
Oh, but he did get peated. So, yeah, good call. He was peated, and so he is going to have to play that Ursula to discard that other Let the Storm Rage On. Zach given a little information he didn't need to share, but that happens. That was a long turn. There's some technical difficulties. So it has been a couple minutes since that Pete was played. So these things do happen from time to time.
Absolutely. So now we have another decision point, and it is probably going to involve challenging and banishing one Aerial Spectacular Singer. But I think crazier things have happened. The last card in hand, we know it to be the Aerial. So what if you do like some kind of I don't know, is there world? No, you can't do that. I was about to say get a shift Robin Hood Aerial Spectacular Sing. You don't have enough ink because you are trapped at 5 ink, and you are going to respect that so much that you're going to get that Robin Hood all the way up off the board. I don't hate that either, as Prince John has kind of done everything you wanted him to do.
Yep, and there's the Sir Hiss. Now, what do you think of this? So there's 4 Ursulas on the board. I'm not sure I've ever seen a game like this with all 4 on the board at the same time, especially this early, because this is only like turn 6 or 7. And so that's actually pretty hilarious to see.
That's a full house.
Yeah, the full house of Aerials there, just hanging out. Now let's see what Habibi gets. There is the Aerial that we knew was there. As because of the Pete, we could not discard it. So Habibi's going to be hoping for probably another whole new world. Accidentally flips that card over. Okay. He gets the last storm of
And
the
Storm
deck, I
actually-
believe.
Storm actually can get some value. You can just go ahead and pop that Sir Hiss, who's just there for the vibes, I suppose. Just get him on up out here. At least you'll cycle another card before a potential Muse play comes in and bounces and then snatches these Ursulas. That's the thing about these Muses and these Ursulas. You play a Muse, play a song, bounce Ursula, and then you're back in your hand again, which feels quite miserable. So I think you got to sing this song. You also need to rid the world of that hidden cove, which could do a tremendous amount of damage to your opponent's board. So that's probably what Habibi is thinking about, putting the line of play together that involves removing the cove, clearing the Prince John, maybe taking some of these Ursulas down, and then see if you got a character available to sing.
Yeah, and he knows that the Under the Sea is likely coming next turn, and so he's got to play around that, send everything in, and try and get the board as favorable as it can be in this situation where Zach has a full grip, as they say, about 14 cards in hand.
And there it is. So we are going to go ahead and take the pro. I concur with that a lot. And the Sir Hiss is going to go ahead and find his way down to the Watery Tomb early. As Pete, you didn't need that 3 strength. Maybe you could have even used a Troubadour in there to sing that tune, as that 3 strength would have gone a bit further. But you want to take that resist 1 into the Ursula. I like that play a lot, as a BB making the nice little sequential play to clear the board a little bit. And you are going to throw your opponent off from being able to harmonize. We've got 2, 4, 6. It's not going to be enough to sing the Under the Sea. So he could be back.
Yeah, and disappointingly enough, our Ursula party is over, and we have lost one of them, and we are down to 3. And so the 4 of a kind Ursulas will no longer be on the board. But Zach still has a lot left in the gas tank. Now, yeah, as you said, there's no longer the ability to sing Under the Sea, which is going to put a big hurdle up for Zach Bivvens. And so this was actually a very strong turn from Habibi to not let that happen. And so I'm curious to see what Zach's going to do. He's likely going to discard Habibi's remaining cards. And so Habibi's going to be in a similar situation to last time, where he just has his board left over and nothing else. And so but this time Zach has a lot more cards than he did last time, and so this is still anybody's game. Habibi's at 0 lore, and so we're just one board clear away from Zach running away with this game, though.
For sure. I think if had Habibi had more lower pressure early like he did in that previous game, I think I'd be a lot more comfortable with his position. But you have at least 2 warded characters entering to the field of play next turn. I mean, you got Prince John's coming in. You can go Prince John Muses, and the Under the Sea is probably for sure going to happen that following turn, and then you can even get a key to set up there as well, and then bounce an Ursula, and you can just turn this thing into a really weird situation. But you're kind of running the numbers and seeing if you need to remove this Singer 5. I think that's probably what Mr. Bivvens is thinking about here going into this 7th ink turn. I think another top deck Whole New World, you cannot resist that. I think you got to play it. Because if that happens, you're going to be in a problematic situation. So I think you might have to start putting down your awarded characters and hoping for the best. I'm not sure if there's a way you can clear a readied aerial right now, unless it's Bruno. That's your whole turn.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. You're losing that Prince John was a tough beat, and so he's actually going to play the You Have Forgotten Me for just the 1 card, taking out the big Cindy. Actually, that is pretty huge. As that is one of the most powerful cards. Now, Zach likely with his hand probably has a Bruno to answer that, but if Habibi were to get an ink and play that card, that would have been troublesome and forcing him to play that Bruno on that card. But right now, he's just going to play the Prince John and pass with all of his Ursulas and try to get that ability to sing Under the Sea next turn. He's feeling like, hey, Habibi's at 0 lore. I've got some time to develop. Let's just make sure that last card he has.
No
Oh my
way.
gosh.
No way. No way that just happened. Oh my goodness. That is actual insanity. Holy, I'm calling the judge. No way. I'm patting down. I need pocket checks after that one, Habibi. Ain't no way that's how that thing went down. Are you kidding me? I was just about to say how Mr. Bivvens should have put the Prince John down and got me to get another card, but it would have been a moot point, as that 2nd time in a row J-Bomb, second time in a row, the top dog, nasty. You hate to see it. He lost a lot of nutrients there. That is crazy.
Yeah, Habibi woke up on the right side of the bed today. These draws have been nothing short of extraordinary. He's been on a 1 to 2 turn clock multiple times in this game and has gotten the 1 to 2 outs both times. And so to see that once in a game is crazy. To see that twice is one of the most memorable things I've ever seen. This game is actually absolutely like crazy, and he gets the peat off it. Oh my gosh, this game went looking from. Do you ever see those ESPN statistics on NFL Day where it's like 99%? This thing's bouncing around like a beach ball at a Nickelback concert. This is anybody's.
Man, and you lost so much value too because you drew so many cards off that Diablo exchange earlier. Your hand was completely jacked, and you had so many under the season there, which is a big part of your win condition. And now you're gonna hope that you can get to another one. Maybe you have a third or fourth under the sea. I think you got 3 in your discard pile right now. There's no way they're playing 4. Oh my goodness, your Prince Johns, your Roses, everything is just gone. You're gonna have to play this really weird cricky game now, which feels miserable, and that is just brutality.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but it's cricky or bust here at this time because now Habibi's got you on a 2 turn clock. This is night and day. Like one turn, what one turn one card can do. It's absolutely crazy.
That is just the odds of that happening are just. I'd have to run the geometric spatial geographic calculator, whatever we're doing, and just kind of run the frequencies of those numbers and seeing the possibilities of something like that occurring twice in one game. And I am just bewildered, perplexed, shocked, and amazed, astonished, even absolutely baffled. Goodness gracious.
This is a game for the ages. I'm loving this game right here. This is why you get into casting, to see stuff like this and be a part of some Disney Lorcana history with a game like this, because this is not one you get to see every day. This is what the people love. This one's exciting. And right now we're doing here? We're going back to Habibi, and let's see if Habibi can continue this pressurized onslaught and continue his just I don't know how to say it other than divine intervention from above here.
It's
with these draws.
You gotta. The step number 1 is put the cards in your deck. Okay, he plays the card. He has it in the deck. He did load it. Okay, he did. You got to play it to draw it, and he just happened to drew it at the most opportune time, and that's why you play the game, because you never know. You just got to keep ripping. And now Mr. Bivvens is going to need a galactic rip just to be on the same wavelength, as we're going to have to go for we're continuing to spam the board. If it's not Kita Under the Sea here, then it's Kita Under the Sea never. I think you might be out.
We haven't seen Akita yet, if I remember correctly, but we did see 2 Under the Seas go to the discard.
We got 3 in the discard now.
Oh, okay. And the deck is thin, so it is possible. But yeah, it's basically Kita Under the Sea, or we're not going to be in good shape here, and Habibi's going to take this 2-0.
I mean, you could do a series. Maybe you do have that Muses up, unless you have a pretty healthy hand. Maybe there's a world you can Kita and just start singing tunes and just bouncing stuff. That's a possibility as well. Hopefully not bouncing these Peats and keep redeploying Peats on yourself. You hate to see that, but maybe just bouncing everything back to the hand with a nice little discard in there, draw some cards and just keep singing. Maybe multiple sudden chills, multiple etceteras, more bounces. I don't know, but I think Kita Under the Sea will be the cleanest approach to this board state, and you need to get it to it right now, I think.
Yeah, we're not seeing Zach kind of snap Kita Under the Sea, and so it looks like he probably doesn't have it. The other option, if he has 2 Painting the Roses, I'm not sure how many he plays, but Painting the Roses, and Under the Sea would be another situation. You're basically going to have to call this a match if you don't have the Under the Sea, though. And so I think Zach is, since he's not snap playing anything here, he's just sort of thinking through what he can do. And he's going to sing the Sudden Chill to try and draw the Under the Sea, is what it looks like he's going to be thinking here, and hopefully can hit it. If that card is not Under the Sea, I think we'll be going to Scoop City real quick here.
But typical builds, I don't know how many decks are playing 4 copies of Under the Sea. Typically they play 3 at the most. I don't know if they got room in the deck for 4 copies of an uninkable 8-cost song. So, and you see 3 of them are already in the discard pile right now. So I doubt
Yeah.
that there's another, but
He
potentially
was playing 4 on Saturday, so
Okay.
I will say that. And I know Pandemonium Heart is a big fan of the 4 as well, so he is going to You Have Forgotten Me to try and get it as that last card. So this is kind of the last shot. If it's not it's going to unfortunately be a 0-2 for Zach Bivvens here.
And we got Ariel. We got one more chance at it. Let's see it, Ariel. I mean, it's not going to be good enough.
His deck is thinning.
Ain't no way Ariel's still missing here. I'm tight. If we are still missing, and just gonna look back at that turn where you drew another sudden chill, so you will get another draw.
But unfortunately, Elias is out of cards here, and so the sudden chill can't even make our buddy Zach draw another card here. So unfortunately, he's out of chances to dig.
Yeah.
So now he's got to see, what can I do to stop Lorthal on board? Is it even possible anymore? I'm surprised. I'm surprised he was not actually bouncing with the muses. He could have sent the aerial back. I guess you probably aren't wanting to send the aerial back, and that's kind of the situation, or you have another song, and so that's probably fine. And it's one of those, we need the Under the Sea anyway, and so sending the aerial back isn't going to be a huge difference. But in a situation like this where we didn't get it and we need to get all these characters off the board, maybe we do need to send that aerial back as much as we don't want to.
Mm-hmm. And that would have helped your sudden chill a little bit, but you couldn't have known that you would get that off of the aerial spectacular singer, usually spectacular whiffer, as this game has just been an absolute roller coaster ride, man. And he has the Undersea in hand. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
But he has no way to reduce.
He got the Under the Sea with the last card, but he's got no way to reduce, and it doesn't take Lorthal off the board. Oh my gosh, what a game, JDZ. That was
insane.
One of the most insane games I've ever gotten the pleasure to watch. I can't wait to talk to these 2 fantastic players about it.
As a matter of fact, let's get over there and do that. If I'm Zach Bivvens, I'm taking that deck and I'm trashing it. I'm never playing that thing again. You can forget that. But let's go and mute ourselves here.
All right, good games, man. You played well.
And hop over.
Likewise, sorry about that. Like those are not the matches you want to win. Like not like that. It's better when it's back and forth, not when it's a top deck like that.
Gentlemen, what a game. Holy man, I'm sweating. Mr. Bivvens, sorry it didn't work out, man. If I'm throwing that deck right into the garbage can. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm ripping all those cards up. I'm pissed. But BB, I'm taking those whole new worlds and I'm going to cherish those things forever, man. Congratulations to you on your victory. And wow. I'm actually speechless for the first time. But Habibi, we'll start with you first since you are the victor of this round. Congratulations to you on that. But just talk about this matchup. How does this typically go for you? I know you have an opportunity to play against Pandemonium Heart all the time, and he's playing this deck, so you've got some high-quality reps against this strategy. Were you excited to play against it again, or does it usually go a little bit different for you?
Assuming it would be a steel matchup, assuming Bivvens would be on purple steel and Chuck would be on amber steel. And then when I saw this color combination, I was like, oh boy. But like you mentioned, I have good reps against like a Pioneer in the deck. Pandemonium did well with it in Chicago. I think he was one of the first people to top with it. So we've been getting reps and being terrorized by him for many sets. So I had the conditioning to do well. I mean, game 1, it was a little bit more, I would say, like skill involved. Like game 2, I was apologizing to Bivvens like I think 30 times. Probably got sick of hearing me say sorry. Like it just sounded like a Canadian, but it's unfortunate to like put yourself in that situation or like that ends up happening. But it's unfortunate. But I feel bad for him almost. Like I know how it feels to get top decked, so I just replaced that wheel with a B prep, and it's the same feeling.
And that was brutal. It happened twice. Okay, it happened 2 times in a row. I think running the numbers, saying everything is good. You have this huge play set up, and then boom.
When I played that Bare Necessities and I saw his hand, I was ready to actually just scoop up and go to the 3rd game. I was like, there's literally nothing that can stop this hand. I'm looking at my storms. I'm like, they're not long for this world with the double Ursula. Like it was, to say the least, the deck took care of me.
For
finally.
Sure, for sure. Absolutely, it does happen that way. But J Bomb, we got we'll kick it to you, J Bomb. Any question you have for her BB, man? Because I'm just still I'm kind of speechless right now. I'm still actually stun locked from what we just saw transpire in that match.
Yeah, walk me through your headspace when you saw the 2 Ursulas. I know you said you wanted to scoop right there, but seeing those 4 Ursulas like that early is never something you want to see as the Steel Song player. So what was kind of going through your head and mindset?
I knew my only out was at that point finding like a wheel or seeing another Pete. The Ursulas were terrifying, of course, but the major concern for me was all the under the seas in his hand. Like he had a board developed. He's not a bad player. Bivvens is known. He's not gonna let me get free Rapunzel value. So I didn't get any outs there. So I knew it had to be like a top deck or like something I find off the aerial. So I think this game was more so like in the early, like inking those Lawrences early and playing the piece to just delay to like give myself a chance to like find the whole new world before you can just destroy my board in my hand. Like I think is what gave me a chance, like gave me a chance to get lucky. If I was like it, usually the game plan is just slam those Lawrences. So inking 2 of my 3 off the rip felt like pretty scary, but I just tried to delay his discard strategy as long as possible so that I can get lucky. I needed a little bit of luck. I drew the 2 drop off the top. Like sometimes your hand starts bad and then it just the deck takes care of you.
That's a pretty good thing, man. It worked out so great for you, man. And I know we've all been in that spot before. Like you said, we've both been on all sides of that. And we're gonna bring Mr. Bivvens in here, who we gotta stop mean like this, Zach. I mean, the last time we were in LCCCC, you had the worst possible draw that we've ever seen, and now here it is. You're back at it again, and these types of things keep happening to you, man. But can you talk about this deck and without giving too much of your information about your preparations for the World Championship? Can you just talk about why are you experimenting with these different decks? We saw you doing a few different things over these past few weeks, and about this deck in particular, and what made you bring it to this tournament today.
Yeah, I mean, I've like you said, I've been playing different decks at every tournament. So I have no clue what I'll bring to Worlds, but I want to be prepared when I get there, no matter what it is. So I'm learning all these different decks, and I think this one's really good. Especially, so we kind of predicted what they were going to be playing, and I felt like it lined up really well. Especially since they would expect us to be on our decks, and like I switched, so I felt like it was going to be good. And I think the matchup is slightly favored, and I pretty much had it locked down a couple of times, and it just didn't work out. So nothing I can really do about that.
Can you walk me through that last turn? Did you have the Under the Sea, and were you digging for a Kita or some paint houses?
Yeah, I had the Under the Sea, so I was still fine, still probably going to win. But then, as you saw, like I had 3 Kitas in a paint in the last, the last 10 cards in my deck. So even then, couldn't get to that.
Oh, that's crazy unfortunate. But it was one of the most fun games I've ever seen and had the pleasure of casting. So I appreciate you having to take 1L for that. But in the name of entertainment, it was a fantastic game. You played it super well, and it was very, very, very exciting.
100% well played.
For sure. But gentlemen, man, I like to say it was an incredible experience to sit here and watch that. I mean, the hype train was just through the roof because it was so swingy, and that was a serious back and forth situation. You never knew who had it until it was absolutely over, and it came down to a photo finish. But Zach, unfortunately, you came out on the short end of that stick, man. The top deck whole new world twice. And I mean, you had to show some resolve, man. Your poker face. I do have one question for you, though. What was your thought process on drawing as many cards as you did with that Diablo? Would you have any decisions there, or were you afraid that this could potentially happen to you, or you just try to hit the accelerate as much as you can and just try to win the game with a huge advantage?
Yeah, so there's a lot of thoughts you have to consider in that spot. So the fact that there were 2 whole new worlds in the discard gave me more freedom to draw more cards because I don't have to worry quite as much about being decked out. And the reason I just kept drawing them is because I had Under the Seas and I was digging for Kitas and paints so that I could combo it. So yeah, I wanted to just try to dig for those.
Oh, absolutely. So Again, I thought it was a cool match, man. Unfortunately, Zach, you did not get it done. Hopefully, you just take this deck and just throw it under the sea. Okay, just get rid of it, cut it. You can't.
Absolutely.
When bad things happen, I take it personally. Okay, it's going out of here. But maybe you can save it. Okay, maybe you can bring that to the World Championship. I don't know. Maybe you're sending some smoke signals out there. But seriously, we're about to wrap this up. We have one more round. You got to get out there and cheer Wochuck on. So we're going to kick it over to you, Mr. Bivvens. Go ahead, give us some shout outs or any special things you want to say. The floor is yours before we kick it over to round number 3.
Hey, shout out to the Villain Club, best team there is. Shout out to my teammates. Yeah, let's get this win.
Second best.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. And now we're going to kill with you, Mr. Elias, Mr. Habibi. Okay. The fates were with you. Okay. The whole new worlds were reigning at the right time, the right points. Talk to them. What do you got to say? Take your victory lap.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, shout out to Enter the Battlefield. Thank you to all the judges that put up with me forgetting to ink all the time and updated on the lore counter, turning my things the wrong direction. It's like almost like I'm a new player at Lorcana. The way that I don't know how to remember to do all that. But yeah, again, thank you to everybody, the casters, Wonder World, Luke, for like hosting this opportunity for us to play against the best of the best. Shout out to Lorcana, or Villain Club rather. Great sportsmanship. Like a lot of the people in Bivvens' situation would scream and be very upset and vocal, but he was very level-headed. So I can always appreciate that. And they're a great team. Of all the people to be playing, I think they're probably the only ones in this entire league that gives us a run for our money. So well done.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. Well said. And thank you guys both for coming out and playing. I love seeing players of your guys both caliber coming out and showing up and giving a show to the community. A lot of people appreciate the ICL, and you guys are a significant part in making that a reality. So, gentlemen, before I let you go, I'll say my goodbyes one more time, and we're going to hop back into the booth. So we'll be letting you guys cheer on the rest of your teams for this all-important round number 3, and let's see who's going to get it done. Can Villain Club save face, and we'll enter the battlefield, come out with the sweep. We'll see. Let's stay tuned. I'll see you guys on the other side. J-Bomb, one of these days I'll figure it out, and I'm back. J-Bomb, can you hear me?
You're back. Yeah, I can hear you. You're great.
It takes a long time. It's literally 2 mouse clicks, and it takes me 15 minutes to figure it out. But man, what a crazy match, man. I'm still sweating watching that go down, and seeing that whole new world was just an absolute uppercut. You're talking on the ropes. You're on the ropes, and then just boom, and we're all the way back. So very, very good stuff. This is why we play.
Yeah, those are the type of games that you're lucky to see and get on camera, because those are few and far between where you see absolute comebacks like that. Whenever I cast with you, we get these crazy comebacks where I'm pegging people at like 95% plus chance to win, and they get the opponents getting those outs and they're coming back. And those are the most exciting games to watch in Disney Lorcana, when you get these crazy comebacks. Like I think we counted him at. He was on a 1 to 2 turn clock multiple times, and he found a way. It's a lot like that new Monstro OTK. It will find the way.
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna play that deck. I'm excited to try that deck, J-Bomb. It's gonna be. I'm probably gonna get cooked a lot, but I am excited to give that deck a shot because I think it's got legs, and I like me a little combo deck. But man, like you said, we had it. I was fully convinced, and I'm sure some analysts can go back and run the numbers to see what the odds of something like that would be, of that happening, of how many cards were in the deck, and how many whole new worlds you had left, and what are the chances of that being on the top of the deck. And it's going to be low. I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised to see how low that was.
And it's not even just the whole new world. He got the Pete after the third Pete afterward too.
Yeah,
and just having 3 Petes and 3 whole new worlds that quickly, it just awesome to see. It's every once in a while you get to be involved in a game like that, and it's just fantastic.
Poetry in motion. But we're leaving it up to now. This is it. This is for all the marbles, as Riley Taylor is going to have to do what they can to complete the drill. But you have an absolute chainsaw coming your way in Wochuk, who I'm pretty certain they're going to leave that Steel Song up to, as we did get a little sneak peek of some Steel Song in that previous round, as Riley Taylor's going to have to do what they got to do. I don't know much about this Illumineer, but they're going to have their hands full, get up against the Wochuk himself. It's going to be in the building.
And it looks like he has a different ETB playmat, not advertising his own name. So Ed will be happy to see that if he's still in the chat. And it looks like he is. So, but we do have the great Wochuk. Looks like he's got a Demon Slayer playmat. So always a fan to see just what people bring for playmats. It's always just kind of a reflection of their character or their team's creativity and such. And so, just always something pleasant to talk about in between games.
It's a nice little piece of flair, a little conversation starter as well. I think the playmat in this community is a little bit more. I encourage people to have unique playmats. Typically, I'm more of a plain Jane playmat kind of guy, but now I find myself even trying to have a more customizable style playmat. Just because when you sit down in these places, it can be quite awkward. And it's just something to talk about to break the ice. So I like to have a nice little interesting playmat. I think Wochuk's there is probably, I don't know. I think they're both pretty good. I think they got something to talk about there from both of these playmats. As Wochuk not representing the Villain Club, so maybe he's a story to tell there with the green sleeves. Thoughts on the green sleeves? I think there's a story to tell there as well.
Green sleeves, great color. I'm actually a bigger fan of this lavender color. I think it works really well on camera. You can really differentiate the inks. Now, I normally do like the green, but it kind of goes with his playmat, and I wonder if we're going to get lost in that little sweater from the main character of Demon Slayer here.
A little color combination, a little clash there. I do a fairy like the little periwinkle, I would say, clash contrasting with the red and black. I think that's a nice little juxtaposition there. Green sleeves are quite good. Green is my favorite color, but having some green, it's a little greenery on the scenery. Maybe I think I give it to periwinkle in the sleeve off.
Me as well. And we do see Wochuk, he alters 3, so he's going to have a pretty strong start, I'd say, if he's only altering 3, excuse me. And so I would probably see a early Cinderella, perhaps an early Robin Hood if he's still on those Robin Hoods. But I expect a strong start from the great Wochuk here with his minimal alteration.
So we'll see how it is, as Wochuk will be on the play going first, starting it off, and ETB coming out. I think we all kind of leaned on Villain Club to kind of take this thing down. But ETB is coming out hitting the absolute gas pedal and not being denied, as they have a 4-0 victory.
He's not on Steel Song.
Why? Wait a minute.
He faked us out.
Nobody brought Steel Song for the. And Riley is going to be on Ruby Sapphire, so maybe Steel Song was not the correct choice.
Yeah,
Ruby Sapphire is a strong match.
He's feeling good. He's feeling good about the Sapphire Amethyst pick going against the Ruby Sapphire. He's got to feel good about that. And so, does he have the double 1-drops? Oh. And he does. Yes, he does have the double 1-drop. This is the absolute best start you can get for Ruby Sapphire. Being a Ruby Sapphire player myself, this is what you don't want to see, especially on the draw, as this is going to get a lot of lore. He doesn't even need to break this broom for another turn or two. Maybe he does with the Vitalisphere, but if they're popping their Vitalisphere to take out the broom, I think that's a trade you take any day of the week, Monday through Friday. Maybe take off for the weekend sometimes, but. Either way, at least Riley does have the turn 2 ramp, and so he's not out of this yet. But it looks like he might be on the items list, which the items list versus 3 1-drops in 2 turns is that's not a position you want to be in. That's going to get a lot of lore for Wochuk.
I think this is a terrible start for Riley, but a great start for Wochuk, who's going to be on the quest. And I think if you can get to that Scrooge next turn, you can seem to slow down the situation, but you are going to kind of walk headlong into a potential strength next turn, as the Cobra is going to come on down. Let's see if Wochuk is going to discard a card, and you will, in the form of Zeus. So this is looking all groovy there for Wochuk, who's going to cash in one of these brooms. Probably didn't even have to do that unless you're trying to play around a potential super goof.
Yeah, with him discarding for the Cobra, he's running out of resources without popping it. So as much as I'd like to keep it, you are going into actually the super goof turn. I doubt, since he's playing items, he's on super goof. but there is a small chance that you get punished maybe with like a Vitalisphere or something. So I don't mind taking the resources. You probably could have squeezed another lore out, as the Scrooge is the most likely answer here. But Wochuk says, I want the card, and I want the card now.
Okay, and you do go ahead and find a Maurice's Workshop, so Scrooge will come out and get the patent pending plus. He doesn't miss like Ariel nearly as much. I've noticed Scrooge hits way harder than Ariel the Spectacular. I'm telling you right now, he need to be Scrooge the Spectacular item finder, as he's going to go ahead and probably no, we're going to go ahead and hit the friends on the other side here. The only reason I would have kept that broom is because it would have opened up a strength play if you have that card in your deck to anticipate this potential Scrooging. But we're going to go ahead and get that thing right on down into the inkwell right now and play another Diablo.
I'm going to see another strength here, I'm guessing. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. So he had it all along. Wochuk's built different. I should never question the mentality of the Woe, who is going to get to the strength, clear that Scrooge anyway, and you still have 4 lore in play.
And now, so this game becomes a game where we don't have to worry about be prepared. In most item lists, if they're playing it, it's 1 or 2 tops, and a lot of them don't play any of it. And so we're just going to start tailing our board to protect ourselves from Sisu. And so, and even then, once they Sisu, we're going to be drawing a lot of cards off the Diablos. And so let's just try and keep putting some pressure up, develop some nice cards that are not going to be taken out by Sisu. And so Maui is actually probably the best answer that Riley has this turn. So stop the bleeding. He's gonna, I think he's gonna take out the Cobra. I'm not sure what he wants to do here.
I guess they're both dangerous no matter what. But if you do go after that Cobra, you are opening up crab lines, as they're now available to go crab into one of these Diablos. If that is in fact the last card you have in hand, you do also you will. I mean, potentially that could happen, but if not, you just keep questing these Diablos, go up to 11. Feels quite good as you're putting those 3 off to the side super quick. And it's friends. Whew, I thought it was crab coming in.
Yeah, hard casting friends, I think, is what Riley wanted to see. He just wants that foot off the gas pedal for a turn, start cleaning up some lore. Wochuk is going to get to 11. Calhoun, actually pretty interesting, because now if the Maui goes in, Calhoun's going to represent an extra 2 lore, so that's probably the best card that Wochuk could have gotten off that friends for this turn. What we're going to probably want to see from Riley is him getting like a coil and a small Sisu to set up a big Sisu here.
Yeah, and this is just one of those things about this amethyst steel deck, is that they could just gain, if they're just gaining 2 lore every turn, a lore turn, 2 lore turn, and they could just burst so hard at the end. I think that is kind of the game plan that Wochuk wants to do. Just keep exerting, going 2 at a time. A Calhoun trade card advantage is not what Wochuk is worried about in this one. Just continuing to just increase the lore total every single turn, no matter what. I think that is that's the path, the clear-cut path to victory. As Grandma Tall is going to come in, let's see if you crack this Vitalisphere. You might almost have to, just to conserve a little bit of this lore that Wochuk is just adding on.
Yeah, and I think you said that flawlessly. There's 2 styles to play Disney Lorcana, and one is the resource attrition battle, and the other is counting all of your resources as lore. And so what of my cards can get me to 20? So if all of my cards are averaging like 2 lore a card, that's what's going to get me to 20, and that's Wochuk's game plan right now, whereas Riley's game plan is I need to eliminate all of my opponent's cards, gas them out, and then I'll take the game in a couple turns after that.
For sure. So let's see if those draws, and even those Diablos who have gained a significant amount of lore so far, and then they replace themselves, which at this point Wochuk was starting to kind of gas out a little bit, and now you've kind of replenished your whole situation where you could just start doing it again. However, for Riley's sake though, you are starting to get into that deeper terrain, and your inkwell is starting to expand enough to potentially establish a Be Prepared, or potentially start setting up for the Sisus or the Shark. I doubt this deck's playing Shark. I've seen an item deck play Shark before. I doubt it. But I don't know. We haven't seen a Popsicle yet either. So your Tomatoas are probably just rotting on the vine as well.
Yeah. And so we are still 2 turns away from the Sisu. So I like playing the Rabbit here, because if we play the Rabbit next turn, it's basically there's not 100% chance, but he's gonna have one of the Sisus in the next 2 turn on the 8 ink turn. And so it's good to get the Rabbit down here when we know it's going away. He decides to trade into the Maui, take that lore. I also agree with taking out the Maui, especially with Popsicles in the deck. If you were to do runner, Popsicles, heal that Maui, you're You're in big trubs, as you say.
Yeah, you're gonna be in you're gonna be right in Shambletown, scared to death of a freaking runner, and they're due. Like Popsicles, we have not seen one go into the inkwell or be deployed to the field of play. So they are due. Maybe you're trying to save them for a little bit of opening where you can workshop Popsicle here. But Grandma Tala coming down, not the worst. You might have to go for another Vitalosphere play here just to get something going, as there's a Popsicle right on time. If you go round and round, that's going to be hilarious.
Yeah, and so the problem here with the Tala is you're not really answering this Smee and this Rabbit, and that's just going to be more and more lore. And now Wochuk is in the position where if he draws Goat or another Giant Cobra, this game is basically over.
Yeah.
And so Wochuk is at a not even a low amount of resources. These Diablos have just gotten half the game's worth of lore here and just continue to refill his hand when Wochuk needed it most.
Absolutely insane. And I think this is a strategy that is going to be around post rotation. So if you don't like this type of gameplay, if you don't like this style, you need to start liking it, because this Diablo is going to be around. I think a lot of Calhoun's going to be around. We're losing friends probably, but there's probably going to be another equivalent that comes in. And I think Cobra's going to be around. I think there's a lot of these 2 questing cards are going to get replaced by other cards that can fill those same responsibilities. And I think it's a very cool and unique strategy, as it can kind of punish some of these late game control players. White Rose is another card that's going to be deployed to the field of play. So he's going to get a quest in. So this deck's going to be here for a minute, J-Bone. I know you hate to see that as a Ruby Sapphire player.
Actually, surprisingly, I've played about 75 games of Amethyst Steel in the last week, trying to learn other decks. So, but a very heads up play here on the turn that Riley can set up the Sisu. Wochuk has set up a very unseasable board, and so this Fox and this White Rose is going to be very, very tricky. He needs a Sapphire Coil, or he's in trubs, and he's going to go to Scoop City here, Scoopsville, Mayor Scoopstown.
And I think that was very, very difficult for Riley to come back from that. You had the Maurice's workshop in hand, but you just had no time to deploy it. You had to just continue to cost the board a little bit, continue to fight with these grandmas, but those birds were flocking, and you had no time to try to wilt your opponent's resources away and maybe outvalue them. And you couldn't even get to the board. I don't think you had one of your Mauis, you had none of your Sisus, and that is going to be the ball game. What do you need to do? I mean, as a Ruby Sapphire player, how do you beat this?
As a Ruby Sapphire player, on the draw against triple 1-drop, especially with the White Rose Giant Cobra build, that's just it's not going to be an easy road. You had what you needed to with the turn 2 ramp, but even with the Vitalosphere pops and the Maui, you answered things pretty much as fast as you possibly can answer. The only difference I could see is getting an earlier coil to keep some of your Maui alive longer. But yeah, no, that's just what that deck is designed to beat, is this a slow items deck. And so this is just a very, very unfavorable matchup, especially with the way Wochuk's constructed it with those White Roses and Giant Cobras, because Ruby Sapphire is going to be able to usually on the play here, it could set up a situation where it can take the board, get rid of all of Wochuk's resources, and Wochuk's going to be at about 15 lore. And so then, because he's got those Cobras and Goats and White Roses, he's just a couple top decks away from those on-play abilities from winning the game. And so this is just going to be a very, very hard-fought battle. And if Riley's going to win this game on the play, Wochuk's going to be at least at about the 15 to 19 range.
For sure. I personally like that for this items deck. I like that Sapphire Coil on 2, small Sisu on 3 approach. I think that kind of works out a lot when they can find that line, and then they can continue to ink, and then your Sapphire Coil can help carry you or propel you on into that late game, and you can have that Sisu line established for a potential Sapphire Coil shift situation on 3 if that Sisu can manage to live. Also makes your Brawls playable, because right now in this matchup, Brawl seems like a terrible card. It's not doing much. You're blasting a Diablo, and they're drawing anyway, so you're going negative card advantage, and you can't hit the Smee, you can't hit the White Rose, so you need to find that Sapphire Coil. You need to play that thing early and often, as the Azurite Sea is going to get down to the Inkwell, and the Bell's going to come out. This is another great start. Bell, the apprentice inventor, is going to come on down and help solidify your board position a little bit. I think it's a great card in this matchup.
Yeah, this is an excellent card in this matchup. And so this is just out of the gate start for Riley. Obviously, he's going to have another turn 2 ramp because he did ink the sail, and so we're going to likely see a Tipo and or a sail next turn. I do like Tipo better in this matchup because it does trade into the 1-drops that are going to be coming from Wochuk. Wochuk has the best 1-drop answer to Bell because you can kind of just choose to pop it on your turn 2 if you'd like. This Bell's going to be a hero. Now, Riley just has the best start possible. So this is how you can stop Wochuk, is he's going to get no lore from these early questers, or minimal lore, 1 lore each about. And yeah, this is not what Alex wanted to see to start.
Yeah, much different opening going here on the draw here for Wochuk, who is going to be able to quest his Chernobog just to crack it. You love to see a nice slow start for Riley like the previous game where you can have those 1 calls go for 3 or 4 like they did the last time. So now we're going to have to play a different, maybe Wochuk can identify this and maybe switch over to more of a mid-rangey, almost borderline slight control variety. And no, you're going to continue to spam these birds to the board and doing the same maneuver. And I think it might be a bit different this time.
Yeah, almost identical opening from Alex, but the difference is this Bell and Tipo, and this Bell and Tipo is gonna really, if you have this Bell and Tipo last game, those just account for about, what is that, like 6 to 8 lore that Wochuk got uncontested, and then into this Scrooge. Ooh, this game is it's not over, but this is what Riley wanted. So this is going to be a lot closer, and Wochuk's going to have an uphill battle from now, especially because he does not even have a Singer deployed to take out this Scrooge, where last time Riley played the Scrooge and it was just immediately answered by a Strength.
So you can't even really exert. You can't do anything. You gotta just kind of stare down this board while Riley just continuing to add resources, and now they have that patience or the board setup where it's, you're comfortable enough to start putting the Sapphire Coils in, to start putting the Maurice's Workshops in, to start getting to your Tamatoas and just getting more stuff. And that is where you can't lose from that spot, as the Cobra is going to come on down just to get a little bit of 2 lore, and you're going to continue to quest, maybe trying to trade these Diablos in. And I think I'd take that bait any day of the week just to get those quests off the board right now.
Oh yeah, and you have to take these Diablos out. Singing How Far I'll Go, one of the most important things these type of decks can do. When you sing How Far I'll Go, it puts you just in such the driver's seat of the game. You get ahead on ink, you get an extra card, you're feeling good, you're playing it for free, you're still doing other board presence with another Scrooge, still no items in play. So Scrooge is just one of the best cards. Obviously, you have to play a certain style deck, but when you do play that deck, Scrooge is just one of the best cards in Disney Lorcana. Now, there's kind of that, I got to build my deck with a lot of items, which makes my deck a lot less consistent. So it does have that big negative side, but he makes up for a lot of it.
For sure, just being the stats, the 4/4 for free too. Don't forget, it is possible to bring Scrooge into play for free by exerting 4 items, and I think it's not that difficult to set up if you are playing an item centric strategy. So, and just the statistics, I think the 4/4. I love it. Even if you do just have to pay the 4 ink to put it out, he's well statted to that cost, and he can potentially plus from your deck. Great card, great design. Love to see it. As the Cobra is going to sing, Wochuk's going to be at 5. Elsa's out of here into the Inkwell. Are we bringing another in, perhaps, just to try to stop some of this? No, it'll just be the Rabbit, as you are only going into the 4th ink turn.
Yeah, we're just at 4 ink while Riley's going up to the 7th ink turn, and that's just sort of the difference of singing How Far I'll Go and playing our Tipo on turn 2. We're just miles ahead in the ink game, and just going to just start playing more and more powerful cards. And Wochuk is just not at enough lore. We're getting that workshop set up, so now we are basically assembling the Thanos Infinity Gauntlet. We are never going to run out of resources. We got the Sapphire Coil set up, so now our Sisu is going to be able to take out every single card in Wochuk's deck if we need it to, for Big Sisu, that is.
And you can just ink and then just plus heavy on this Cobra as well. If you just reduce the strength of that and just be able to challenge in to get a plus value. And I think at a certain point, if I'm Wochuk, I think I might just have to get out of this one and just get on into the next one, because this one seems like you have the entire lock established. There's really not a lot you're going to be able to do, unless I don't want to say anything else, because we did see what happened in the previous round, and I'll never say never anymore. I've learned my lesson through pain and repetition, I suppose. As I've called it soon too many times, and who knows what Wochuk has up the sleeve, as we can it's going to have to start by bouncing this rabbit and gain some more cards at a minimum, or questing and bouncing or something, because 5 is just so far away.
Yeah, and Amethyst Steel is not one of the best decks at coming back once they lose the board, and so I'm kind of with you, but there's plenty of time on the clock, and Wochuk can still fight and try and get this. He does play a lot of burn cards, and so while he's not answering the board, he's still got a sliver of hope.
And we do start with bouncing that rabbit. I think that is a clean way to kind of start generating some more advantage. You need to do that a few more times. Rabbit interest play one more time, maybe on your next turn, as we are going to get the Diablo down into the inkwell. Are you putting somebody out in 3? Maybe bounce this freaking snake back and slam a fox into a Tipo or something. I'm not sure. How you got to slow them down as well, because you are now usually you're in that beatdown characteristic, but now it seems like you're kind of trying to fight back for the board, and the Cobra's going to come on down to probably gain 2 more lore.
Yeah, so the Cobra's getting the lore, and this is exactly what you want to do to kind of stay in this game. You're still ahead on lore for now, but now Riley's threatening 4 lore a turn, and in your best scenario, you're getting 2 and then another 2 with another Cobra and burning your resources, and so your best case scenario is keeping up with what Riley has on the board. And then if you start questing, he's going to get a bunch of free advantage from that Sapphire Coil up trading and value trading.
Right. And we have not seen a Brawl, or we haven't seen a small Sisu. Both of those cards I know reside in this deck typically. As we do get a Sapphire Coil trigger now, Tipo's going down to the inkwell, so I'd be shocked if we don't see a Brawl or potentially a small Sisu to come down and engage with this board. And it seems like we won't. We're just questing.
Yeah, I like it. I like the quest. We are now the beatdown. As Jeebus would say, he likes to write these articles about who's the beatdown. And normally Ruby Sapphire items is not the beatdown, but they've taken the board. They're the aggressor. And if you're Wochuk, you have no possible way to outrace at this point. And so I like this. Just quest out, and we're gonna go for it now.
Yeah, I think this one might be a lost cause, but you never know. And on the play, I think it's going to be a different scenario. You're able to maybe do exactly what you did in the previous turn. Maybe you're still trying to do a fact-finding expedition to see what their ratios are. I know Wochuk kind of locked in player, switched on player. Maybe he's trying to see how many Sisus he has, how many Brawls do you have, how many big Sisus are you playing. Just try to drag this thing out for as long as possible to just kind of set yourself up for a better game 3. Again, like you stated, plenty of time left on the clock. No need to scoop up too soon. And if you have a clear path to victory, or if you have an out remaining left, go ahead and try to get to it. It's not going to hurt anybody, as you are going to go ahead and 3, but maybe you're revealing some secrets of your own deck if you could keep this thing going. As Cobra's going to come on down for another 2.
And another Cobra is actually what Wochuk wants. He actually is probably pretty happy to see that Riley had one of the weakest turns possible. He left 6 ink open. All he did was just draw a card off the item and quest and pass. And so that's basically a whole lot of zilch for that. And while Wochuk just keeps getting lore, this
Prince or John Silver.
I wanted to cut Wochuk out of this as well, but I mean, as a burn deck where you have all this free lore, he is out of Cobras, but he's getting lore. He's at 10.
Yeah, he might be able to get some bounce. You are losing cards in your hand. You did have to kick that rabbit just for the Cobra's ability, and that was your kind of draw engine, pseudo or otherwise, as you are going to go ahead and put the John Silver ability on the healthy Scrooge McDuck. You do have a damaged one. You do have a Vitalosphere and a Sapphire Coil established. You need to get to some items, Riley, so you can start drawing some cards yourself, because it would be pretty impressive if Wochuk can somehow turn this thing around. Because again, I'm throwing in the towel. Maybe I need to stop throwing in the towel so soon, J-Bomb, because this is looking like a game now.
Yeah, and I'm really curious what could be in Riley's hand that he left 6 ink open. It tells me it's. I know this deck doesn't play Be Prepared a lot, but it could either be Prepared. It could be Big Sisu that he drew off that item. What else? What else could it be?
I think it's got to Be Prepared. It's got to be Sisu. It's definitely not a Maui. It's definitely not a little Sisu. It's definitely not a Brawl. I can tell you that. Maybe it's not a How Far I'll Go either. I can tell you that as well. It could be a Tamatoa. You're probably trying to greed up a Tamatoa, but you probably play that to get that popsicle back.
Yeah, it could be Big Tamatoa too.
Big Tamatoa,
yeah. Tommy.
That could be it. We'll see if we get the big boy to come in now. And there he is,
Ah.
just like it showed up. We figured it out. We saw
we got it just in time.
we cracked the case, and it was the Maui going down to the inkwell. I probably would have greeted that Maui a little bit too, just to get these characters off of the board in the most expedient manner possible. But you're probably trying to get that Tamatoa in, and you are gripping that Vitalisphere. Maybe Tamatoa can get busy and start swinging here with the Sapphire Coil deployment. Just clearing these bodies off the board, I think, is mission critical. Keep in mind, healthy Scrooge McDuck cannot challenge due to John Silver's unique ability. As we're staring down, I love that card, John Silver, as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure we want a Vitalisphere or Tamatoa because that sets up the possibility that he could get taken out with some sort of Fox combination.
Mhm.
And if we just leave him upright, that puts us on a 1 to 2 turn clock. And if we have Dime, that's just Lorthal next turn. And so
sure.
if we have Dime, I'm definitely not Vitalisphereing the big crab.
I
But
mean, you can probably put it on the Tipo. Yeah, get it on Tipo and just have him send his body in for Queen and
Yeah.
Country and just trade up with that Cobra. He's not doing too much. I'm sending in the Scrooge as well, or trying to ink if I can. I don't know how many cards you have in hand, but I would love to try to preserve that bod, but you still can't do it anyway. And
yeah,
now
we
get the
could.
quest.
It looks like we could only ink once, and so we take it down 2. We still take the 2 damage, and
Mhm.
so he gets rewarded for picking the right Scrooge with the John Silver and allowing that trade down. And now, what with popping all those items, our Tamatoa is threatening 3 lore on quest, and then another bit with Dime, and so is Dime gets us, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Dime would be Exacxes, I believe is the term.
Exacxes? Is that Dime? Is that the Exacxes? Potentially, we'll see. We'll see.
3,
As
or is
yeah,
it off by
great.
1?
It might be
4,
off,
5, 6, 7. It's off by 1. It's 19.
if you do have the Dime, you do have the ability to quest, but I don't think you have enough ink that you can play another item. Well, you might, depending on what the hand.
You do, because you can ink
yeah.
once.
Okay.
Yeah, so it would be close. Yeah, it would be Exacxes
Mhm.
if nothing on the board is answered and you have Dime.
So let's see it. And he did get the item back from the Tamatoa deployment as well. I think he did he have the ability to. He didn't have enough ink to play the Tamatoa and the item that he returned. So I think Popsicle is floating in hand as well as one of those cards. As we are continuing to try to rebuild some of those resources, Wochuk sitting at 14 as the snake and as a rabbit comes down deployed. You still have 2 cards in hand, I believe. This is still super scary. I'm terrified if I'm Riley. You got to end this game, big dog. Let's see if you can do it.
Yeah, this game's got about a 2 turns from each player max at this point with how it's shaping up. I say so no Dime, so no Exacxes. Honestly, I think Workshop is what Wochuk wanted to see. And so it's interesting. He played the Workshop before the Popsicle, which he must be digging for something, but
Yeah, I
that
think
takes
he just
up most of his turn.
I think he just wanted to get to another, maybe get that double draw in to kind of help dig. You still have that Sapphire Coil set up, so you can potentially go for an Ink Brawl situation or Ink Sisu situation just to slow Wochuk down a little bit. Wochuk sitting there, I believe that's 2, maybe 3 cards in hand, which is terrifying here in the late stages of this match, as you have a lot of cards that can reach out there and grab. As Scrooge McDuck comes on in, Wochuk's got to be feeling great to see that Scrooge McDuck. Tamatoa will get a nice healthy quest in, but I still think you need to get it got into the Popsicle too.
So now the issue is, I think Wochuk's going to get 1 more turn in this game, and with that John Silver, we assume that's going to be taken out. It's likely going to be taken out. Wochuk will get to 16 lore from this rabbit and snake, and we've seen, unfortunately, 3 Cobras already, so I don't believe there's a way for him to get an extra 4 free lore with the amount of ink he has. I think the best he can do is 19.
Man, you ever been double gathering wisdom and knowledge, dude? It happens all the time. No, I'm kidding. He's probably not playing it, but it could be a thing that happens. Maybe is there a sequence you can't goat bounce? I think just goat bounce just a 1 time, and that will not be enough. As we are going to go ahead and take the opportunity to get some more card draw here. You still have not inked yet for turn. Are you playing Brawl? I have not seen a Brawl yet either. Or a Sisu.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not playing the little Sisu.
I've not seen any removal from Riley's side. He's drawn basically the same cards as he did last game, with just not inclusive of the bell. But yeah, just a very fair game. Just I'm fighting for board 2. Wochuk's doing his little burn stuff over there, and if Wochuk had got if that bell wasn't there, Wochuk would be pretty much at 20 from those 1-drops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that opening, the bell, and also the Tipo coming in, being able to handle the situation quite nicely, as we are going to send the bell into the John Silver, electing to. Did you not ink? I think you got to ink and protect these cards, because you need to solidify your own win condition there, because I think you could have lowered the strength on that to keep that bell around a little bit longer, but maybe you just wanted to use it for something else potentially.
Ellie in chat said that they did miss the coil trigger, and since it was a May, that they could not allow them to go back and do it, unfortunately. So that does happen.
Gotcha.
Especially in Pixelborn Connect. There's a lot more going on that a lot of players don't realize this. When you're doing this type of tournament, or if you haven't played Pixelborn Connect, there's a lot more to do than just play the game. You got to move your mouse. There's a lot of little dexterity things you got to get used to. And so sometimes when you ink, you go and you click the mouse button, you got to put your ink up, and then you forget about these coil triggers that you have to do. And so unfortunate, and he'll learn and not make it next time, hopefully.
For sure. And as someone, I play on Pixelborn almost every day, and I'm telling you right now, I am significantly worse on Pixelborn. I'm not the best player as it is, okay, but I am absolutely significantly worse when I play on Pixelborn. It is just not it. As we're going to get up to 17, we go for 3. We got another Cobra to go up to 19.
Yeah. And that's exactly what we said was the best he can do is 19. And he did actually have that 4th Cobra. And so that game actually just came down to that bell. And it's exactly like what we said earlier is if Riley's going to win this game, Wochuk's going to get to the 15 to 19 ratio. I love when that happens exactly as we say it.
For sure. I think it's great. But now Wochuk is going to be in a pretty advantageous position, just being able to go first. His deck hits the gas pedal. We saw it happen in game number 1. That could be a repeat here in game number 3. Riley Taylor going to be on the draw this time. I think you gotta. Are you playing Brawl? Have you seen a Sisu yet? A small one.
We haven't seen any of it yet. We've not seen any removal. We've seen Scrooges, Workshops, Pops, and a big Tamatoa. I think Wochuk, he wants that exact same hand he got in game 2. Like, it was unfortunate he didn't win that game. Riley had the best start possible to combat Wochuk, and Wochuk still got to 19, and so that just shows the power of this deck. Wochuk just wants as many giant cobras as he can in the middle turns of the game,
and some way to refill. And you want these. I'm looking for all these 1-cost characters, all these Chernobyls, all these Brooms, all these Diablos. Give them all to me and get them into the field of play. And I need my opponent to not pop bail on me and miss a Tipo. Sail all you want, stranger. I don't mind, as we are going to get very, very loose with these 1-cost characters. I'm certain that's what Wochuk's looking for. Riley, I would like to see a coil into some removal there to help combat if you can't hit this Popsicle Bell turn. Are you sending hard for Popsicle Bell here just to help have that same kind of effect?
Oh yeah, my win percentage on this I think is so unfavorable that I'm full sending for the Bell combo, or I'll keep Tipo as well, but and probably Sail, but I don't know. I don't even know if I keep Sail here. Tune into the Alter Academy. We'll figure this out. But yeah, this is one where you need the Bell, you need the Tipo, and if you have both of them, you have a shot at winning. If you've got one of them, you got a shot, a bit less of a shot. But you need to go aggressive. I didn't actually see how many he altered, unfortunately, but I'm hoping he goes aggressive and goes for that Bell and Tipo.
Okay. I probably would do the same thing, as I'm certain Wochuk is trying to go for, like you said, maybe looking for a little bit of card draw at the top end of the curve, but primarily focused on those low cost characters, maybe even some number of Smees if you have those available. We saw some Smees are in the deck. I'm looking for the Diablos, I'm looking for the Brooms, I'm looking for the Chernobogs, I'm looking for the Smees, and I'm trying to aggress my way up out of here and then close this thing out with a little bit of Cobra finish, sprinkle on some Goat for good garnish, and get out of here with the Dublinsky is what Wochuk's looking for. So here we go. Game number 3 for the ICL. Can Wochuk even the score, or save face for the Villain Club, who are kind of looking at a
Yep.
sweep right now. And can Riley seal the deal for Into the Battlefield? I know a lot of people picked against them, but now they're trying to say we are the best team for a reason, as we
Ooh.
are going to start with no one cost at all. It's Grandma Tallis down in Inkwell. Oh.
Yeah, no pop, no bell. Very happy to see that from the Wochuk side. Now, let's see if Wochuk does have 3 games in a row with triple one drop. Now, JDRR taught me that Amethyst Steel likes to get these triple one drops on the first 2 turns. And so that's how you pollinate and grow your flower into a victory from the flower farm.
Are you a flower farm member? Are you card carrying member?
I am a member of the flower farm. I'm a free member, though.
Okay. I need to jump in there because I'm waiting on my official invitation, and I don't want to just be somewhere where I'm not welcome, but I don't want to feel like a gaijin either, you know. So I'm not in yet, but I watch a lot of the Metafy. Okay, I read a lot of the of the workings, and we're gonna get one of the one cost there on 2. So no Smee, we're lead Diablo, leaving 1 ink available. I still think that's pretty decent. Still have another character on board as we ink the Sapphire Coil for the Tipo. I hope we got another one of those Sapphire Coils.
Yeah, there's not a misstep, but we do get to prey on the miss from Alex of not having the triple one drop or the Smee, because now this Tipo is going to get some very good trades and prevent quite a bit of lore. This Tipo is going to prevent at least 2 lore from Wochuk here, because it's probably going to force Wochuk to pop that Chernabog, which will be 1 lore for next turn, and then allowing the Tipo to take out that Diablo a turn early. So going to be about 2 lore difference just because of that Tipo play.
For sure. And there it is. Chernabog heads for the hills. That you see him running up the hills right there. That's them being popped, running away from this Tipo, the growing sun. I want to see the visuals of that. You got literal basically demons, I want to say these Chernabog followers are, and they're running away from a small toddler, I would say. You hate to see it. As you got the Cobra, who's going to be back at it again, but Cobra no pitch. I like that too.
Cobra no pitch. He is on the play, playing a 4/4, is going to contest the Scrooge McDuck. The interesting thing with the Scrooge McDuck is he did ink his strength already, Wochuk did, and so it'd be tough for him to play 2 characters and sting the strength with the amount of cards at hand. Not impossible, but I think he would have probably played the low-cost characters already, but he could have exactly drawn into them after the fact and still have another strength. But we'll likely see. Oh, hard casting, how far? Ooh. We're just going to go ramping.
Interesting. And you saw that ink choice. We got the popsicle going down to the inkwell. That card that tells a tale of the hand. Maybe you are brick clogged and unplayable as well, because for me, when I play this Ruby Sapphire strategy, that popsicle becomes almost uninkable in certain scenarios, because that is a big part of your late game draw engine. And it also can help heal your Mauis, heal your Scrooges, heal your Grandma Tallas, or whatever you got to fight with. So putting it down to an inkwell is for sure something that I'm certain Wochuk has to quickly pick up on. And maybe that tells a story. You didn't even add another character to the board. Tipo is looking kind of silly here. You just take a turn off just to draw a couple more cards.
Yeah, and I think you summed it up exactly. You never want to ink the popsicle unless you absolutely have to. And so that tells me he, as you said, is going to just be an uninkable brick city here. And luckily he's using that to his advantage just to get some ramp. And while he is probably with a bunch of uninkables, he at least could do something with those uninkables, as in the how far I'll go. So we're going to see him up. He finally gets the removal. He does play Brawl. We finally see removal in game 3, taking out this rabbit. And I think Wochuk is going to be happy to just kind of see this slower turn from brawling a rabbit, as it's not going to be a Maui.
For sure. I think the last thing you would like to see is the Maui coming down on that turn, to being able to clear your Cobra quite cleanly, but now you still have a nice Singer set up. I don't even think you're worried about this Tipo, who's kind of been on the board since turn 2, carrying the water, doing some great stuff, challenging and questing and being a nice little growing boy. Let's see if Wochuk elects to engage with this Tipo. Probably not. I think the lore is probably too great for you, as you're still only sitting at 3. Hand is looking super healthy, though. You're going to keep it make it a bit more healthy.
Yeah, you're probably not worried about the Tipo. The Tipo is likely going to start getting quite a bit of lore, where in the end game it may cost you 1 extra turn of your own to get there, but at this point you're just trying to take the lore when you can get there. You're almost to the Sisu turn, you're almost to these big removal turns, but for Wochuk, there's no Sapphire Coil out, there's no Workshop out, and Riley is just sort of playing what he's got, and he's hardcasting another How Far I'll Go. And so while Wochuk doesn't have the fastest start, Riley's got a lot of ink, but not a lot of things to do right now. And so we're going to be at the 8 ink, so we're likely going to start seeing the big Tamatoas and Sisus next turn. But I mean, I've said that all 3 games on the Sisus, and we still have not seen one yet.
We haven't seen it. I haven't seen a small one or a medium one or a big one. As I'm looking at Wochuk's hand, look how many hands, look how many cards Wochuk has in hand. I'm terrified. I need this deck to be struggling on resources, but you are sitting there, sitting pretty. I think we got a seriously good game on our hands, folks, as both players are being able to demonstrate the things that they want to do. As you have hit the critical ink totals of 8, now you can play all the cards in your deck unless you have some Maleficent Dragon Mount to ink one more time. But you typically like to have that inkwell at your disposal, as it looks like we have the rabbit still every turn, adding 2. Will you be able to continue to quest? Are you bouncing? Yeah, we're playing this control game.
The quest bounce.
I like this switch up. Alex, Wochuk switching it up a little bit, electing to go more into the control route a little bit, just trying to play this out resource game and the slowed approach. Just gain lore residually over time, keep bouncing this rabbit in and out of play, drawing cards and questing. Tipo is not real.
Yeah, he's definitely not real at this point. You're just trying to get that lore, especially since you had to ink a Cobra early. You're kind of regretting that now, but likely that was like one of your only options. And so now you have just a plethora of resources. So you're going to just keep playing cards and cards and cards. And Riley's going to just try and catch up and set up a board at some point. And he is going to play the big Sisu. He does exist.
Have you seen a sadder Sisu, though? It all comes down to that Sapphire Coil that went down to Inkwell earlier. Had that bad boy been involved, you could have cleared more stuff, but the sad Sisu hits the field of play and just banishes a rabbit who just goes 1 for 1 either way. So you just had to take some of that stuff off to keep that rabbit from going in and out, bouncing more cards.
And so, interestingly, because of this Tipo, if we quest with the Sisu, we're tied on lore. So if we can just keep fighting this board, we're not in too bad of a position at this point for Wochuk. He's going to take the 2 lore, go to 8, and I'm going to hopefully see a lot of explosion of characters here. We might see another Sisu, but I'm on the train where I don't think he's going to have a second one, so I'm going to play it. Or no, I like this better, actually. Better than what I was saying. Just get rid of the Sisu, take the lore, don't let him make these trades, and let him keep just fighting for life.
Yeah, just hurling that huge thunderbolt at the Sisu, clearing that, leaving this Tipo up, who's just spell booking his way to victory. And maybe this Fox has had enough. I'd like to see this Tipo just get banished here. If Wochuk feels like that is the play to make, I think it's time. Just get him out of here. You will potentially serve your Fox or your Snake up to a Maui, but you got to get him gone, man. He's doing too much damage.
Yeah, he's on his own, just like taking away 1 or 2 of your clock turns towards the end of the game when it starts to get really close and you're trying to limp your way to that 20 lore.
And you're still got 8 cards in hand, and I'm terrified. So you will go ahead and take a coil turn now. You feel like you got a little bit of breathing room. Your opponent's only pressuring with 2 lore, so just get it set up, and maybe you can start to establish a secondary Sisu, maybe another ink opportunity if you could. A brawl here, another one would be okay. A small Sisu would be great. You have options. Let's see if your deck can come through.
Yeah, and this is the kind of the one card you did not want to see from Wochuk's side, because without the Sapphire Coil, most of your characters are safe because the removal he has is brawls and Sisus. And so now that he has the Sapphire Coil, you're going to be scared because he can answer pretty much any card you play. And Sapphire Coil Maui is probably the best turn Riley could have had right here. So good for him to stay into this game and get back on the board and keep fighting here. But Wochuk does have a hand of 8.
Did he not trigger the Sapphire Coil? Because Maui still took full damage. I'm not sure if maybe he didn't ink that turn.
Yeah, I don't think he inked that turn. I didn't see a card flipped over.
Okay, so no ink, just Sapphire Coil Maui. I think that's still a pretty decent use of your ink well. Is a little 7-piece coming on off of there. Now we have this Snake. Wochuk has all the answers as the goats are starting to rain. When they start raining goats early, now you need to be afraid because maybe some more potential balance could be coming in as Diablo is deployed as well.
Yeah.
and a SME as well. So you are extending the boom. You are getting wide as questing here with the Madam M Snake. Maui is reckless. Keep that in mind. So we will have to challenge his turn. But with Sapphire Coil, you still will lose that Maui in a favorable exchange for Wochuk. I would say you're sitting at 10.
Yeah, and Wochuk is just plotting with his plethora of possibilities there with those 8 cards, and so
Pretty good.
Yeah, didn't come up with that one before. That one was just on the spot right there. But.
I like that. I do enjoy. I am a fan. Okay, I will never. I encourage you. Continue, please. Okay, I will come back stronger next time when my brain is a little bit more prepared to pontificate proudly with some alliteration of my own. I was close. That was a 3-piece, but 3s are easy. Okay, you came with a 5-piece early, and that was very impressive.
Yeah, the P's just like it sounds so much better at the alliteration. I don't know, it's just like the P sound with it, but while he is pontificating his possibilities of choices here, he does have another big Sisu, which is that's 2 gone, and so he's also not got the workshop set up. He's only got 2 cards in hand. This is a game where, unfortunately, the item deck might just be out of gas here. The best play he has is just another 2 ink turn. If he has like a sail into double ink Sisu to clear out the whole board, but Alex is probably like that's the best turn that Riley could have done, and Alex is still in the driver's seat of this game.
That was a very astute heads up maneuver from Wochuk to change the play a bit, to just go more into this draw all your cards strategy instead of this super aggro down strategy. In this game number 3, he's played it completely different than he did in game number 1 or in game number 2. Maybe that's just the way the cards flowed, but I'll be interested to see if that was a part of the game plan all along, because now you have your opponent pretty much out resourced, and if you can lose this Sisu, that's pretty much one of their only threats with 2 cards left in hand, and there is another Zeus. Oh my goodness, he went down way too easy.
Yeah, and Riley just does not want to see that Zeus there. That's going to be all but over for Riley here, because that Zeus is just going to clean up the board. And now if you don't have like a double ink and a Sisu, Alex is going up to, 18 lore with no removal, and then you're just a snake away. And he's playing not only snakes, but giant cobras. He's not even playing just giant cobras. He's playing goats and the white rose.
White rose as well, yeah, for sure. And this is just one of those things. And seeing Grandma Tala coming down here on this critical turn, even be prepared. Even if you play be prepared, it's pretty much going to expire your entire turn. You don't have your workshop set up, and he could just deploy more threats to the board, and it's just way too much pressure. So he kind of played back, got into his control bag, drew a bunch of cards, and just waited for you to gas out with your coil situation, and just really got ahead of this thing. And I don't know if Riley's going to be able to come back. But again, I won't say never. No more nevers in the booth, as we've learned here in the ICL. Anything can happen. As we're going to probably just have to pass here, leaving it open. We inked the Maui in this spot. What do you think about that?
If we're inking the Maui, we better be able to clear this SME. Okay.
I would have liked
I like
both.
that. Yeah, I mean, we have to ink something to play the Maui, so this tells me we likely have our last card's an uninkable. But Wochuk just has too many resources to our no resources, and he's got a lore lead, and he's got a board lead.
Oh man!
And he just played another Cobra.
Brutality,
and
another.
Okay, and it's just over.
The game just ends. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't expect it to be that quick, but I mean that's what I was expecting, like for it to go. But just have the double Cobra there was not expected. What a crazy outcome.
Triple Cobra is good. Yeah.
Seeing a lot of like triples and quadruples in the games today.
I love it. But we're gonna mute ourselves here, and we're gonna hop on in and talk to these players and see their feedback, and then we'll come back. Gentlemen, Mr. Wochuk the Great. Okay, I think this is one of my first calls I got to make. I'm so excited, to be here and see you do your thing. Shout out to you, Riley, as well. I thought you played it very well, but you could not get it done tonight. But we're gonna start with you, Mr. Wochuk.
That's me.
Amber Steel. Okay, what happened to it?
I heard of that deck. That's the one that runs like Amber and Steel, and there's some like songs and stuff in there, right?
That's right. That's a deck that I know you typically play, and I was hoping to see that come out for this tournament today, but you didn't bring it. Can you talk about that deck really quickly, and then talk about this deck? What are your thoughts on Amethyst and Steel, and what made you play it for this tournament?
So everybody knows I'm kind of a two-trick pony at the moment right now. I got the
Mhm.
Purple Steel in me, and I have the Steel Song in me. But the Amethyst Steel is a little bit more consistent. It's a little less waves. It's a little less bricky. I'm sure I think you cast a game with Bivvens where you had like 3 Zeus and 4 Whole New
I
World in
did.
hand. I didn't want to do that on stream. I didn't want to do that. So also, second factor, I played a set 8 tournament over at SSG over the weekend. I went 5-1-1 with Amber Steel, and in order to make that deck, I had to scrap my songs to build the Diggy Hole version, and I was too lazy to go through the boxes to rebuild my old Steel Song.
Gotcha.
Third
makes a lot
one,
of sense.
they knew I'd be on Steel Song. You heard everybody before the match. Oh, Chuck's gonna be on Steel Song. One of them's gonna be on Steel. Like everybody thought I was gonna be on it. So when they're zigging, I got to zag, right?
Yeah, I was casting
yeah.
your altar as if you were on Steel Song. I was like, oh, he is only he's only altering 3 cards. He probably has a turn 1 Cindy, perhaps a Robin Hood. So when you played the Amethyst card, I threw my hands up and I was like, what?
It was a shock. I mean, you got to keep them guessing. Never let them guess your next move. But I thought you played it incredibly well. I mean, you kind of in that first and second game, you had this very aggressive approach, and you're just trying to get to the lore. Talk to me about that third game. Did you consciously switch up the motif a little bit and get into more of this control strategy? Because it seemed like you were just really kind of sitting back in the cut, trying to play this out value game after you kind of diagnosed what your opponent's deck was about. Can you just talk about the story between game number 1, 2, and what you did in game number 3?
So against Red Blue, what you're trying to do is not crazy overextend on the board because they have all those board wipes. They have Be Prepared, they have Sisu. So if you play too heavy onto the board, when they wipe you, you're going to just get crushed. So you kind of want to just draw cards, just accumulate this huge hand where you're able to just burn them out eventually. Like if you saw at the end of game 3, at one point I had 9 cards in my hand. It's just you want to just draw, not give them values on the board wipes. Just pick away at lore a little bit. Just pick away, and just eventually get that big burn that they can't stop.
Absolutely. And that was demonstrated in both J-Bone and myself. We're like, okay, maybe he's going to do this one drop thing and just try to get into this aggressive thing on the play, and you kind of switch it up a little bit. But J-Bone, what do you think? I know you've been playing a little bit of Amethyst Steel yourself. Any thoughts you have for Wochuk and his strategy, or any questions you might have before we kick it on over to Riley and get his perspective?
Yeah, no, I thought he played it extraordinarily well. It's kind of the strategy is just for Ruby Sapphire is you play your triple 1-drop is what you want to do and hope they don't have Tipo, and you basically win the game on the spot at that point. But and so game 3 we got to see kind of what happens when you don't get an optimal line from either player and there is the Tipo, and so I thought you showcased it very well on what to do when you don't have your exact plan A and how to overcome that. And so always great to see you out here, Chuck. Love watching you. Got to, yeah. So thank you. I don't have any more questions, but just wanted to say thanks, man.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's always a nice show. I like to see these players come out and do their thing. But we're going to kick it over to Riley, who came out playing a little bit of Ruby Sapphire. It didn't work out this time. That game number 2, you had a great defense to this very aggressive deck. Can you just talk about this matchup? How does it typically go for you in your practice rounds? I know this is a match that you need to be rehearsing and testing for. How does it typically go? What lines are you looking for? And how hard were you mulling for or altering your hand for a Bell Popsicle play in all those games?
Yeah, so most of the time you need bodies on board versus this deck. That's the main goal. So, Bell turn 1, Tipo into Grandma or the Duck, and just try to stop them. And then, then you can start figuring out your workshop game plan. Unfortunately, I only saw the Bell turn 1 game 2, which is the game that I won. So that really shows how powerful that combination is there. And then game 3, I was kind of bricked. I tried to put some cards away to find. I had the Tipo in my opening hand. I put 3 uninkables back to find hopefully maybe a Popsicle at least, and then the Bell maybe later. But I drew into just more uninkables, so that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but not punished by the high uninkable count. So it happens,
Yeah, we figured you were kind of in that situation when we noticed you ink the Popsicle at one point, and that's sort of the only situation is I have to ink this because I have no other option type situation. I do want to point out that you had sort of 3 weird games where game 1 and 2 you saw almost no removal at all, and then game 3 you didn't get any of your workshops or items online the entire game really, and so it's kind of just some odd things unfolded in all 3 of those games. I wouldn't say you got your plan A, unfortunately, in any of them really. Like I guess in game 2 you had the pop Bell Tipo, but like after that you didn't really do your plan A too much. But it's just sort of 3 interesting games, and so kind of got to see unique perspectives. So I appreciate that from you.
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely. But Riley, looking at this deck though, have you been looking into some of the cards that are coming out in the next set? Is there anything? Because I know the Ruby Sapphire community, they're pretty tight knit, and there are a lot of people who are looking at this deck and they're like, "Hey, we didn't get anything." What are your thoughts about this item strategy? Is there any cards that you're looking at to maybe enhance this deck going into? Because you guys are in the postseason and you will be playing Ranger Far come the next round that you guys play. Is there any cards you look for to add to this deck to make it a little bit better?
Honestly, nothing like right out of the gate that's like it's going in for sure type of thing.
Mhm.
Nothing like that. I know there's some that's new sword got printed, but that's a little iffy, that one. But besides that, there's not much honestly in terms of the item side of Red Blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be interested to see how that thing shakes out. But you did go down this time, but you guys ended up ultimately getting the overall dub. ETB is going to come down and take out the Villain Club, and that is going to probably conclude our round of the ICL. But gentlemen, I want to thank you both for being here. But before we let people go, we like to hear from you guys and get some shout outs or anything you want to say. The floor is yours. We'll start with you, Wochuk, first, since you went down. Then we'll end it over with Riley. So, Wochuk, anything that you want to say? Any closing remarks? The floor is yours. Take it away.
Let's shout out the entire South Florida Discord. Let's shout out my entire team. Let's shout out Southside Gaming. They're awesome. Let's shout out Habibi's A Whole New World. So if you want to trade those things, let me know, buddy. I need those things. And that's all I got. I love you all.
Man, those Habibi Whole New Worlds would be like worth so much. They were so good. Oh my goodness, they were next level. But thank you so much for the shout out. And we're gonna give you Riley Taylor. Take it away. Anything you want to say? The floor is now yours.
Shout out the store I play at, Enter the Battlefield. Shout out my team, our sponsors, Endgame, and yeah, that's basically it. And all you guys for hosting this all the time. It's always fun to watch.
Of course, man. Again, we can't thank you guys enough for coming out and playing and sharing your time with the community, man. It's critically important that you guys continue to do this, and hopefully we'll see you guys in the next round. I believe Villain Club still did enough to make it to the next round. I'm not sure. I have to check the charts and see, but this might be it for the Villain Club, or maybe we'll see a bit more of them in the playoffs as well. But gentlemen, we'll let you guys both go to enjoy the rest of your evening. Again, thank you guys so much for your participation, and congratulations to you again, Wochuk, for your victory here in the ICL.
Hey, JDG, shout out you too, buddy. Shout out to the casters.
Much
Great job as always.
Thank you.
Good job, guys, yeah.
Much love. All right, J Bomb. I'll meet you back in the booth. Click.
Cool.
And we're here.
Did you get it?
You beat me. You beat me. Man, oh man. What a
I'm learning.
Huh?
Yeah, we had some crazy games. We got to see some unusual games. I love actually when games like don't go to the plan A, and you got to see 2 decks like going back and forth with almost like a C average of like what they want to do, and so those are pretty exciting. That was the game 3 of the last match with Wochuk versus Riley, and so but that Habibi versus Zach Bivvens game 2, that was one for the ages. One I will never forget. One just of the most exciting things. I'm glad I got to do that with you, JDZ. A wonderful couple matches we just had, and 2 great teams battling out with ETB and Villain Club. Absolutely amazing day.
Absolutely, man. It's always great. I'm glad to see you coming by the ICL again, doing more rounds and getting your broadcast on, man. I enjoy spending time with you, J Bomb. And before we let you go, you got to do your shout out and give your special plugs. Talking about Alter Academy, talking about what you got going on this weekend, and anything else you want to say. The floor is now yours because we're about to wrap up the show.
Yeah, Alter Academy. Actually, the next 2 weeks worth of episodes. ETB are going to be the guests. We've got Habibi going through Steel Song with Raina Jafar, and then after that, we're going to do Pandemonium Heart with a Sapphire Emerald Crazy deck. He's going to be bringing in.
Let's go.
And so in this kind of lull before worlds, where a lot of these really good players who are qualified are not wanting to share information, I'm going to do a couple funner decks here. in June until we have the Worlds tournament, and then we'll get back into these competitive decks on Ultra Academy.
Wow.
And then this week, my team World Class Cards is hosting the double 5K, the first casted triple deck tournament. So I'll be playing in that up in Wisconsin. It should be really exciting as we'll get to see how the triple deck plays out, what kind of the format's going to look like, what people are going to bring, and what actually is going to end up working. This will be the first kind of data samples that we'll get to see. It's going to be awesome. 20 Lore will be there casting it. I believe it's Liam and Jebus will be casting it. So that'll be awesome. We'll get some good energy from Liam. Jebus? Jebus. What's that? I asked him how he'd like it to pronounce, and he said, "You can call me whatever you want."
Okay. I think that event's gonna be pretty nice, man. I wish I could tune in, but I'll be watching. I'll be watching there. I wish I could have been there myself, man. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Because you'll be casting at the other big event.
I will.
Oh, I don't want to steal your thunder with.
Oh no. Sorry. I got enough thunder. I can get more thunder. Don't worry. I'm plenty of thunder. I'm all thunder. No lightning.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But that's going to be. Oh, so are you done? Are you? Oh, sorry.
I can be, but also thanks to you, the casters, ICL Wonder, for extending the invite here out. I love doing this. This has been so much fun. Hopefully, I'm getting better every week, and thanks. It's just a dream come true casting with you, JDZ. I love it. And now I'm done.
No, sorry. You guys can't hear. Luke has been talking to us. Okay, it's very difficult because you guys can't hear him, but we can. So it might sound like we're talking to ourselves, but they can't. Okay. No, it's okay. But seriously, guys, again, from the bottom of our heart, thank you guys for tuning into the ICL. Again, huge shout out to Robin, I believe, who was the head judge tonight. First time in the booth. I think she did a great job. Everything seemed to go smooth as butter. Huge shout out to Phil as well and everybody behind the scenes, especially Luke Wonderland, DLC champion, who's taking the time. He could be prepping for Worlds, but he's helping us keep this ICL thing going, and it means an incredible amount. And also, if you guys want to see more of me, I'm JDZ Quest. I'm on Twitch, but the ICL might be over, but we got a nice little post-game follow-up. We're going to checking out the Illumineers who are going to be going live. No post show tonight, and I hope you guys all enjoyed the show. If you did, leave a follow and throw in a prime dog. Nasty, you got one laying around. Until then, we will see you. Illumineers underway. Stay tuned. We'll see you guys on a Wednesday. ICL, don't touch that dial. Keep it locked. Until next time.
See you later.
There it is.